Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it.
Look, mile like 3-6 pulled up, ski trip cold winter. All my eating good, I remember when we had no dinner. West side, east side, no side, both sides with me. Check, coming, check, leaving flex season 12, come and get me. Gil, the run around, high speed, chasing all the big bags. Bending corners, bending rules, bending necks, Gil, the whiplash. Slide through, hot knife, warm butter storm, gutter drain lane. Young man, old habit, still at it, tryna let my chain hang. True story, new story, 2-story, condo, B&B. 4 bath, 1 me, no key, like I did a B&E. Being me so good, so hood, so not worried about it. 250,000 new views, old news, know you probably heard about it. Extra, extra, read about it. Headline, word around town, flexing. Ballin' on my course, so I ain't worried about nobody out of bounds, stressing. Feeling like Hercules, murder these ain't a problem to me. Tried to tell the maid service don't come unless you bringin' condoms to me.
Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. We gon' come and see about it. Flexing ain't discreet about it. Extra, extra read about it. Say you wanna beef about it. Find out nothing sweet about it. Moving, shaking, coming down, tipping. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down, tipping. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down, tipping. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping. Moving, shaking, coming down, tipping. Stacking, racking, money, power flipping.
Guys, listen up. As you get older, the best way to continue to look young, exuberant, and vibrant is to continue to take care of your skin. That's why I'm excited to have Tiege Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. You heard me talk about them before, and you're going to continue to hear me talk about them because I believe in their products and the positive impact that they have on every man's life. Tiege Hanley makes taking care of your skin so easy. They provide you with all the products you need and nothing that you don't. Every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. Lapeef family, I must admit, skincare wasn't always something I always focused on, but since I started using this system, I've seen improvements in the way my skin looks and feels. And you don't have to take my word for it. They have over 5,000 5-star reviews on their website from satisfied customers from around the world. I recommend you start with the level 1 system, which comes with all the basics: a daily face wash, an exfoliating scrub, an AM moisturizer, and a PM moisturizer. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off retail price, the ability to customize your box, pause or cancel at any time, and free US shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click that first link in the description and you'll get 30% off the first box plus the free gift. Seriously, that's an amazing deal. Even though it's too early, as I often say, it's never too late. Click that link and get started today. It's go time. What's going on, family? Welcome to King Talking on Lapeef Network. Let me go ahead and introduce the crew. We got Mr. Shannon Rawls, Dr. HD, Sweeney, Trev Smooth, Big Cloud Jones, Hick in the Basement, Sean Antonio, Luis, Jay Stanza, me myself. I'm Lapeef JR. Welcome to King Talking on Lapeef Network. What's going on, family? What's going on? How y'all doing?
What up?
What's happening now? What's happening, fellas?
What's good? Not much. How we feeling tonight, fellas? How we feeling?
Feeling good. Another day in the paradise.
Good.
Another day in the paradise. What's going on, family in the chat? How y'all doing? Your voice might be going in and out. I think I'm losing it, but we're gonna see how long I can hold on to it for the night. See what I can do. Maybe there's alcohol suppress it. We'll see. I'm gonna sure hit the like button. Also, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Shout out to the sponsor again, Tiege Hanley, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men, 30% off along with a free gift. That link is in the description. So go ahead and fill a Tiege, as I always say. With that being said, we got a great show ahead for you guys. Shout out to all my green gangers in the chat: Joe Lee, Miss Parker, Cassandra B. Shout out to everybody, man. If you want to become part of Green Gang, that link is pinned to the top of the chat. Let's go ahead and dive into our first topic of the night. Y'all gentlemen ready?
Yes, sir.
Men file for divorce when they find another woman. Let me go ahead and play this clip.
They only file for divorce when they have another woman lined up, and that women want to be alone when they get divorced.
I would be cautious to say only, but I think that women tend to think about divorce for a much longer span of time prior to actually filing. So they've thought about what their life will look like after divorce. They've come to the conclusion that they're better off alone most of the time. And I think most of the time with guys, they don't contemplate divorce and think about it most of the time and plan out, hey, I want to be divorced. What's my life going to look like? It is a situation like, oh, I'm in love with another woman and now I want to be divorced. So more likely for women to think about it and really plan and be comfortable with being alone, whereas on average for guys, that's really not the case.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about it, man. We often talk about women when they file for divorce, but you think it's a true statement what he say? Men file for divorce when they find another woman? You said no, Shan? Go ahead, Shan.
No, men don't file for divorce when they find another woman. In fact, the ones that do that, the number is probably so insignificantly low that it's statistically irrelevant. That's just not the case. You know, men file for divorce when they fed the fuck up. And it takes a lot to get a man fed up, even with an unruly, hard-headed battle axe that he considers a ball and chain. it takes a lot for a man to say, "Oh, I'm just say fuck this shit, I'm out." And so, you know, out of 10 divorcees in a room, 8 of them are women. We know that. So only 2 out of a room of 10 motherfuckers, only 2 are men. That's even at the divorce court. The other 8 are women. Of those 2 men, the one leaving because he found another woman, like you see in movies like Harlem Night, where he ran in the sunshine and he just called his wife. He said, "Hey, let me put your, put your mama on the phone. Hey, I'm not coming home." And he hangs up because he got that pussy from sunshine. That don't happen, man. Men stay loyal to the soil, to the women that they typically are with, even though they don't like them. And the ones that do what the question on the board is asking is the number's so low, man. I don't even think that we can even measure that. Men that do finally run to the divorce court first and go through with the procedure of the divorce. See, that's another thing. There's a lot of guys that go to the divorce court to like maybe threat, call the bluff, but actually go through it like, I'm done with her. It ain't because he found some other chick that he was dating at his job, or he fell in love with the next door neighbor, or that doesn't happen for me.
All right, we'll go ahead and go to Clout. What are your thoughts, sir? Men file for divorce when they found another woman.
Yeah, I agree with Shannon. I don't really think that's a high probability. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there that maybe might get in that situation and might meet another woman that they feel like is worth leaving their relationship for. But I feel like in most cases, guys are more likely to stay in their relationship long term than go look for something else. At least look to marry someone else and divorce their wife just to go be with someone else. I don't see that.
Okay. Go ahead, Luis. I think Luis might be frozen. You there, Luis?
Yeah, come back to me. Come back to me. My services.
Yeah. He wrote in the back chat that he's having some audio issues.
Okay, I didn't peep that. All right, go ahead, Trey Smooth. What are your thoughts about it? Men file for divorce when they found another woman.
I don't think it's very often that it happens, but I can say I have certainly witnessed that happen. There are some men who just feel like they have to be married and they will jump right into a relationship and most likely be divorced according to statistics and everything else. But because like Shannon was referring to earlier, it's when men are fed up, right? But there are instances where there's a woman that they run into that they might find that peace. That's just a breath of fresh air, that pays attention to him, that listens to him, that respects him. And, for him to get that feeling versus the contrast that he's getting when he goes home every day to that hell, he'll say, you know what, man, this is where I need to be. And a lot of guys, depending on how they set their situation up financially, like if they got a prenup, if they just have enough money where they could withstand that pain, then they probably will leave and go to another woman if they feel like that woman is going to fill the void that he's missing.
All right, Dr. HD, what are your thoughts? Men file for divorce when they found another woman.
Man, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to do a quick research. I mean, the main reasons that, and it's different depending on what article you read. I looked at like 3 different articles. One of the main reasons that one said was because of a midlife crisis, right? So that would mean that they kind of hit a bump in life and say, okay, I got to do something different. So that's very possible that they could do that. Say, okay, if I find another woman, then I leave. But she definitely would have to be better than the one that he got, in my estimation. Another one says a sexless marriage. I mean, a sexless marriage takes a little bit of time for it to be considered sexless, I would imagine. And then the other one was infidelity. And so that could be a reason that a guy would leave pretty quickly all of a sudden. So I'm with Shan on this one. As far as men take a lot to get out of relationships, and specifically marriages, in my estimation, because they want to it's the best investment that they feel that they've made, and they don't want to take an L on that one. That's just my thought.
All right. What are you, Sean? What are your thoughts about a man file for divorce when they found another woman?
I think of the men who file for divorce, I would think that that would be something that would compel them to do so. I also think that means that more than likely the new chick that they're dealing with compelled them to do so, because I don't think men on their own, generally speaking, would. You know how it is. You know, depending on, you can be married and the marriage can be dead for 3 years, and you've already started to execute your exit strategy. So you've been cultivating that relationship, you know, with the new young lady. And you know us, we'll let it float forever. You know what I'm saying? And so they'd be like, well, either piss or get off the pot, whatever that saying is. And so I do think, I can't speak to how prevalent it is, but I do think it is the case in some situations.
It's a trip how Sean said, the new young lady. He said it so smooth and it rolled off his tongue. So, because that's just what happens. You know, he didn't say the new old lady. He said the new young lady. And I rock with Smooth. Smooth was right. Now, the divorce part, that's the question. But a lot of men find comfort in other women. He may not run to the divorce court. He may just deal with her. But a lot of men find comfort in staying at her house than going home. That's for goddamn sure, Smooth.
Okay. All right. What are your thoughts, Sweeney?
Well, like Shannon said, we do know without a shadow of a doubt that most men in these relationships aren't filing for divorce. And I would have to agree that when he said that the few that do, you have to be pretty goddamn fed up in your situation for you to file for divorce. I would say that from what I've researched, men and women tend to file for divorce for nearly the same reasons. It's just the thing that the difference between men and women in this aspect is that we know that it's not heavily incentivized for men to walk away from their marriages. That's why they tend to not walk away as often as women do. You know what I mean? If you ask a lot of men, the reason why, even in instances where they want to divorce, why they would choose to stay. Even a man that doesn't have any money would choose to say, well, I'll stay for the kids. I don't want to have to leave my house and leave my kids. I don't want somebody else coming in and raising my kids. I don't want my kids to grow up without me. And that's just bare minimum. That's a man that don't have no money. He just got kids. Then you start talking about men who have money or any form of resources. Then he's talking about, well, I don't want to lose the house. I don't want to lose the car, or I don't want to lose half my pension and things like that. So the reality is, the reason why, men typically do not walk away from marriages. And if they do, you have to have pushed them pretty damn far. And the ones that do tend to walk away, and the ones that don't tend to walk away tend not to walk away because it's a bad deal for a man to walk away from a marriage.
All right. Jay Stanza, what are your thoughts about a certain men file for divorce when they find another woman?
I agree. I think a lot of men come up later in life. They don't, like, you get married early in your 20s, then in your 40s, a whole nother ball game. You come up later. When you get that bag, now you're getting attention from different type of women. You in another level. You in another tax bracket. So now he like, damn, I got options. So that younger woman or that new woman look 10 times better than his wife he been with since he was 20 something. So now he's like, all right, I got options. I'm finna choose up. That's the game. Just like women do, men do it too.
Damn. Go ahead, Hank.
So the question is, do men file for divorce when they find another woman? I don't think they do. I don't think they do. But what a man will do is he'll leave a residence. He'll move out. That's what he'll do. He will pack up and move out. He won't divorce, but excuse me, I'm sorry about my throat. He'll pack up and move out. He'll get an apartment or live with a buddy or sometimes go back to his mother, I guess. He'll do that for a couple months to regroup, get himself together, and get a game plan together. You know what I'm saying? Am I going to go back? Is it worth going back? And he'll ponder. He'll strategize in during that time while he's on the boy couch, on his buddy's spare bedroom, or in his old bedroom at his mother. He's in that apartment. He'll get a 6-month lease. You know what I'm saying? Think about it, man. Is it worth fighting for? If I go back, is it going to get better? And, in the meantime, he's probably having conversations with her, seeing where if her mind's frame has changed or not, or she's still talking the same way, acting the same way. And then he's just like, fuck it, I just stay in this apartment and just enjoy life and move like he's never was married. He's going to have a whole new relationship. Like you said, get that young girl. He's going to find that girl probably lives right above him. You know what I'm saying? He probably went upstairs because complaining about the kids were too goddamn loud. I'm not saying this because I experienced I was the one that actually did it, but I can understand. You know what I'm saying? But, he went upstairs and said, hey, man, your daughter's too loud. She make a lot of noise. But then realized, damn, she look kind of good. I might need to shoot my shot while I'm up her. Put a move on or something like that. I don't know, but I don't think they, for the most part, on real tip, yeah, they don't file for divorce. Again, like I said, they more likely they'll move out and then they'll, wait for the woman to make the final decision and just live with it.
All right. Louise, what are your thoughts about a man file for divorce when they find another woman?
I would say that the men that file for divorce specifically, at least based on, family conversations and people I've spoken with in the past, it's usually an early marriage. There's no kids involved. There's no major assets or major purchases. They've probably been married for a few years, 3 years, 2 years, whatever the case may be. So they're not really tied and locked down. Those typically file for divorce. Those very small minority of men file for divorce. I say it's probably lack of appreciation, lack of probably commitment, right? Because there's probably some people who entered it with a bit of cold feet, but I think also people entered it with the understanding or without the understanding of communicated expectations. You know what I'm saying? They were expecting that person to cook. They were expecting that person to clean. They were expecting that person to show up in some type of capacity in the relationship or in the marriage, or they said that they were going to do these sorts of things, right? And sort of those expectations fell by the wayside. And I think over some period of time of people kind of butting heads and kind of having circular argumentative conversations about things that they were expecting, prior to the relationship or prior to the marriage, were not really laid out or communicated. And I think that's why those marriages dissolve. And they feel more apt to dissolve them because there are no kids involved, or they're not really, in it too long where there's an opportunity for them to kind of back out and reconcile. And sometimes there's infidelity that occurs, and there might be another woman involved, but for most part, I think it's usually uncommunicated expectations that are never really ironed out prior to getting married.
And another thing, Jay, I think most men would probably try to wait it, like I said, wait it out, and hopefully absent makes the heart grow fonder. You know what I'm saying? And they sometimes they'll get out here and see what's out here while they are separated from the woman, and realize they don't really want to put that much work in like they had to do before. So it's like, man, it's not that bad if I go back, because what I'm seeing out here, I'm not liking my options, or just the options are not what I expect it to be. I'm thinking maybe more plentiful, but it may not be as plentiful. You have to look at them sideways every time. Are you just trying to get with me because I got this bread now? Are you with me for me? So, men evaluate all of that. All of that will come across during that time period.
Wait,
They did say,
hold on, I got a question. How many men get that bag and don't upgrade? Be honest. They upgrade. Let's just be real. They get that bag and they get a better looking woman. That's just the reality, because you getting new attention. You at another level.
But just because they might look better and more fertile, but don't mean their mind is better. So now I'm dealing with a childish type mind. I'm like, and you know, man gets old, he don't want to deal with a childish type woman. The woman have that young mind.
I don't know, Hank. I don't think too many men get divorce remorse the way women do. I hear what you're saying, but I don't think that too many men are saying, "Damn, I wish I didn't divorce my wife. I'm out here all alone because I don't like the
I don't
options."
think most men divorce. That's what I'm saying, Shane. I don't think most.
No,
men
I know,
divorce.
but for the ones that do, I know that they don't. You're absolutely right. But for the few that do, I doubt that. What you're saying is, I doubt that. I haven't, in my experience, seen too many brothers saying, "Damn, man, I don't know what I made a mistake. Now I'm all alone." I ain't seen that. Women, now that's a trope for women. I hear that from women all the time. In fact, exit poll said 65% of women who get a divorce eventually, regret doing it within 5 years of doing it. Men, not so much.
Well, I don't think men are being honest if they did. I don't think men would tell them if they did. Their pride won't let them. You know what I'm saying? Most times you're not gonna go, man, I regret I left that woman. She was a good. You know, most times your pride won't let you do it.
They did. I did look into this one study. They said somebody got a real big echo. They said a large chunk of them go back and remarry one another. I think like roughly 30-some% of most couples that get a divorce wind up remarrying each other. That sound like a lot of regret to me.
Yeah,
you said 30%?
30% of those who divorce wind up remarrying each other.
But he was talking
to
about
the same partner.
Beautiful doesn't mean that she's smart and that she's willing to be, or she's capable of being a legit woman. Beauty is one thing, but it's not everything. You know what I'm saying? Unless you're that type of dude that's just cool with having a smart, dumb woman.
I do have a boy that
another thing that I think, I feel like if men weren't financially bonded in the way that we are, like, and you know that the divorce will screw your whole life up, I think the divorce rate probably would be a lot higher in men's. I think it would actually rival the woman's, because a lot of men do get fed up, but we know how to deal with it. Men endure, and we just stay with it because we understand that the contrast is a lot more unfortunate for us financially, and the way the court system is. You're not going to get custody, so it's favored so much for women that it's usually never worth it to divorce. But a lot of men are miserable in marriages and would love to leave.
And there's a reason why the slogan.
I always say it's a lot.
It's cheaper to keep it. There's a reason why that slogan's so popular. It's cheaper to keep it. So
where's this information?
I don't know, because the average. When you look at the numbers,
you can't report. You can't report who wanted to get a divorce. So it's got to be anecdotal. It's just from talking to people, consulting with people. And
yeah, you can. There's a petitioner and a defendant. There's a petitioner.
No, I'm saying like for people who want to get a divorce but don't. There's not this. It's kind of difficult to get those type of numbers.
The thing is with me, and this is just what I think.
The guy is just unhappy.
What I think, I think let's remove the money part, and it's tough to do that really. But the reality is most people only make 40 grand. A lot of people ain't got no money to lose any goddamn way. So it's just like you go your way, I go my way. And we hear the argument of, I'm gonna lose this, I'm gonna lose that. A lot of with a $40,000 average, it ain't much to lose. You know what I think, and this is just me. What I think the divorce rate would equal out. It would be 50-50, or men would even do it more if ego wasn't involved. Because for a man to divorce his wife, or to divorce, or to separate from the family or go their own way, is essentially saying, I fucked up, I failed. I failed, even if he's not wrong. Even if she's a bad wife, she ain't shit and all of that kind of stuff. There's a component in us that's just kind of built in us that I'm in charge. We all know that we're the head of the household. This is my castle, and I'm the king, and all of this kind of stuff. And to say that I'm a bad king, to say that I'm a leader who wasn't able to have my followers get in line, is tough for men. And if it was, since women are the ones that's being selected, men are the what? We hold the key to relationships. Women hold sex, but when it comes to relationships, we choose. We go out and find her and she's waiting to be selected. And then once we find her, we ask her for marriage, and that's who I picked. And to say, man, I picked wrong, it's very hard for a lot of guys. And so he'd rather try to fix this shit. It's like, what's going on? Well, let me figure, do I need to work extra hours? Okay, so I don't make enough money. Let me see if I can get a second job on the side, or ask my boss for some overtime, or let me try to do these things that's necessary to make this marriage work, while she could just be like, I'm done with this. I just want to go my own separate way. And he's like, no. And his mind is like, damn, am I a bad coach? My team ain't winning. I think if we were to, and it's just me, I think if we were to somehow make it equal in terms of who creates marriage, or who selects and creates relationships, I think men, if they didn't have any ego component added to it, excuse me, a lot more men would get a divorce. And I don't think it's necessarily about the money.
That's messed up, Shannon. You spent the whole soliloquy saying what I already said.
Well,
Did
Shannon,
you say that?
I did. I said that early in the segment.
Well, Shannon, I would say this: the pandemic kind of really exposed, or rather opened up the veil on a lot of relationships that were already set to fail, or better yet, it exposed that a lot of people picked wrong, because there were a lot of divorces and a lot of relationships and engagements that failed during the pandemic, because once you get locked down with somebody that you thought that you picked right, when you have to lock down with somebody that you thought was going to be your forever person, and have to actually spend more hours in the same space and talk about certain things on a deeper level, and get to really understand their mindset and their mind frame and the way they think and the way they operate for longer periods of time outside of your work schedule, people started to figure out and notice that, damn,
I don't like that motherfucker. I actually hate my wife and shit.
You know what I'm saying? People were starting to kind of like, because you removed all the distraction, everything around you stopped and came to the halt. No dogs, no kids, no neighbors. It was just you and your person sitting down having conversations about finances, about cutting back, about probably relocating, your job probably cut hours during the pandemic, all this and that, how to allocate. And once you have conversations on a deeper level about the things that you really value, you really care about, because most people up front, they're going to try to mirror you. They're going to try to mirror, oh, I like that too. Oh, I thought the same thing too, right? Because they're trying to garner favor. But once people really sat down in long periods of time during the pandemic, people start to realize, yeah, I married the wrong woman. I should have probably married the other one. Or I got into the wrong relationship, or I picked wrong. You know what I'm saying? And the aftermath showed it.
Let me throw this out here. I know I'm hogging the mic a lot tonight. I'll fall back on this. Speaking on what he's saying, the pandemic brought a lot of relationships, because we all had to stay home. It was stay at home, the stay at home orders. And next thing you know, you seeing your wife all day, every day. You seeing your husband all day, every day. You realize, damn, I don't even like you like that. Because before, I just saw you at night and first thing in the morning, and we went our separate ways for 8 hours plus drive time. And then we got back, and then I tolerated you on the weekends. But during the pandemic, we were forced to all be together up under one roof. And a lot of people realized that they didn't like each other. Let me tell you something. I did business. I did business first with both my ex-wives. Opened up a barbershop. It's a long story. In 2001 with my first ex-wife, and my second ex-wife, we started a fashion company. I do not advise people to do that anymore. It was a mistake. I made the mistake the first time. I did it again the next time. And now when in hindsight, because hindsight, it's always super clear at the end of it. Doing business with we didn't have no 9-to-5s. We made our own money. So we were together all day, every day, all week, all month, all year long. And that is very taxing. And I didn't realize how, to a degree, advantageous it is for a husband and a wife to wake up in the morning, maybe do a quickie, Get up, take a shower, brush your teeth. All right, babe, I'll see you. Kiss the kids, kiss the wife. He's off to work, she's off to work, and they're gone all day. Absence of the heart. What? How does it go? As you know, the heart grows fonder.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Absence make the heart grow fonder. You think about your girl all day long. Then you get home at night around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Put the kid homework, and then you make love, and then you go to sleep. In fact, oftentimes you're away from her during the day more than you are counting the sleep time. You in La La Land. But when you work with your wife, when you guys are all right, well, we going to the office today. All right, cool. Can you drive? And you're doing that every day for years, and you're with her all day. You have to. It takes a different kind of mentality, a certain intolerance that you have to have with your wife in the passenger seat every day, and dealing and going to lunch with each other every day, and doing breakfast and dinner every day. And then you got the weekends, every weekend. That's very hard. What I advise people is, if you're an entrepreneur and your wife has an entrepreneur spirit, split it up. I created a website called Power Couple Goals. I was all into that whole power couple thing. I was trying to emulate the Jay-Z, Beyonce shit, do all of it. I fell for all that bullshit. And I thought it would work, and it just ultimately, that's why I'm in the space now, because I'm telling people what don't work. And it is not conducive to a very, I think, strong, lasting relationship if two people are with each other all the time, because you're going to find and nitpick the problems. I tell people, if your woman's an entrepreneur, she needs to do her thing. And if you're an entrepreneur, you need to do your thing. She needs to understand that yours is priority and that she needs to come in and do certain things if necessary, but give her space to go do what she needs to do, because you will get fucking sick. You will get sick and tired of her. So the first thing you'll say is, well, she can just fill a job position. Why would I hire an assistant or do something when my wife can do that? Because sometimes it's better because you can fire that assistant. You can't fire your wife. Sometimes your wife is an employee that you can't fire. And when you want to go off or she fucks up or she does something wrong, you can't really go off because you're not going to get no pussy tonight. So it becomes very hard when two business-minded entrepreneurs are with each other all day long, like Lewis said, especially what the pandemic brought. Be careful of that for those out there that's looking for that whole power couple thing. This is just to everybody that's watching this show. When I know in your mind that power couple thing, we working together and we gonna do the whole Barack and his wife, you know, the president and the first lady thing, and we're gonna rock together. It don't always pan out that way. Sometimes you need your space. And currently, by the fact that a man goes to work and a woman stays home, or a man goes to work and she goes to her job, is actually the reason why a lot of relationships are hanging out and going as long as they are, because they're not stepping on each other all day long. All right, now I'll fall back for the rest of the show.
Anybody else got final thoughts on this? If you guys just tuned in, welcome to King Talks. Make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure we subscribe to the channel. We got one super chat that came in from Doug Will. Says, salute to the Kings. What's good, Shan, a.k.a. Billy Ocean? I'm assuming you're talking about that picture, Shan. Yeah.
Don't even say nothing about it. You and Humble Dad know.
Okay. I ain't gonna say nothing about it. You want me to put it up or no? I ain't gonna put it up. I ain't gonna do that. All right, yeah, let's go ahead and get into our next topic. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. The next one is, some men may know your girl better than you.
I'm gonna hurt a lot of feelings with this post, man. But I hope that I help a lot of men out. If your girl is not freaky with you, right? That's because you were the runner-up. You're not really the nigga that she wanted. You're the one that stuck around through all the bullshit and all the games and the whole phase and the gold digger phase. And, you know, she just was like, you know what? It's time. You her settle down, nigga. You not her best life, nigga. There's levels to this shit. You the nigga that she felt bad for, like, I'm gonna give him some pity, pussy. You the responsible nigga. She didn't want you. You was the responsible one. You the one that know where your birth certificate at. You the one that know where, you know, all your documents is at. She knew that you would be a good dad. But you not the nigga of her dreams. It just is what it is. And a lot of people don't know they role. But I'm trying to say, is a nigga out here that know your girl better than you. Is a nigga out here that know your chick better than you. You busy complaining because she won't give you head. She sucking that nigga dick from the back and eating his ass, and he looking at you like you don't think your girl a freak. Only if you knew. You don't even know your girl because she settled for you. So you getting the reserved pussy. You getting the pussy rich. Ladies, am I lying though? If I'm lying, unfollow me right now. Cause you know you got a nigga in your house that you settle for. You know it was a nigga that you entertaining right now that you settle for. Cause you couldn't lock good dick Malik down. You couldn't lock him down. So you settled for Robert and Chauncey and Charles and Sean.
All right, there you have it. I see Jay Stanza. Go ahead, Jay Stanza.
Okay.
This topic right here.
Get your pen and paper. Let me teach y'all. Okay, when I played college ball. When I failed my career, I became a trainer at a gym, not knowing shit. They taught me a bunch of shit. So I did little classes. Majority of the people attending my classes were married women. Dude, these women tell me everything. Everything. I know everything about your relationship. I know everything she don't like about you. I know everything. Currently, I work with women now in my job. I sell women's shoes for a living. I'm not gonna say where, but that's what I do. I work with women all day. I deal with women all day. And I'm telling you, these women, married women, these faithful women are the ones out here cheating. I'm telling you. And majority of the men they settle down with are not the first choice. So if you're not the first, you don't want to be the last. These women settle down with responsible men. They settle down with men they know that's been in their orbit for a long time. They settle down with the good guy, the guy they really desire. They can't get. They can't lock him down. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Women are not stupid. They know who they're dealing with. They know which man is which, who's the faithful, who's the fuck boy, who's the player, who's the lame. Women are not dumb. They're smarter than us. That's the thing. They know the game, but they manipulate and they use their words and they get in niggas' heads and be like, yeah, I'm the man. No, she plays you. She made you feel like you was the man. I'm telling you. Last thing I'm gonna say on this. The day I was done with this marriage shit was the day when I smashed another man's fiance. I was done with this shit. And this nigga was calling her while she was in my bed. No cap on God. I'm telling y'all. It's on you. Do what you want with the information. He's telling y'all. And women can disagree all they want. They know it's true. They know they set up the good guys at the end when they're done with the street. I'm done. I land on that.
Did she go through with the marriage? Or did you save him?
No, I'm not saving nobody. Because you know what? She was a Latina. I'm not going to say her name. But she was with the dude for papers. And y'all know that game right there. That's an ugly game too. And she was telling me, she's like, because I asked, I'm like, yo, so what's up with marriage? You plan on marriage? She's like, it's just papers. I don't want to live with this guy. When I get my papers, I'm out of there. And I'm telling y'all, women tell me with their own mouth. They telling me the information. And you know, women are telling me it's true. Because women keep that girl code like this. I'm telling y'all. Do what you want with the information. Roll the dice, take a shot if you want. But I'm telling you the truth.
Well, young blood, she's not faithful if she's sleeping around. You can't call her faithful then.
I don't think women are. I don't say they faithful. They pretend to be faithful.
No, you said they was. You said the woman you dealing with was faithful women to the husband. They're not faithful.
They're pretending. They're pretending. Women are smart.
Yeah, to each other.
Yes, they know. Women know. They put two different dudes. They know the provider and they know the lover. It's two different things. They know this shit. I'm telling you, off rip.
Well, then that's why that women gonna keep failing. So be it.
Like I think Shan was asking if you got any information about if she went on ahead and got married to that guy.
Oh yeah, she did. She did. And she was telling me, she's like, yeah, I'm about to get married this week. I'm like, all right, so I guess we done. She's like, no, we can still kick it. I'm telling y'all, bro. I swear to God, bro. I swear to you. And at that time, I was living with my mama. Grown-ass woman sneaking in my mama crib. No cap. Straight up. I'm being real. That's the game. I'm going to let y'all have it. You think what you want.
But young blood, you said they smarter than us. And they doing that with you?
Listen.
Yeah, that's not smart.
Hold on. You don't think women know how to separate? You don't think women know the difference between different men? You don't think so?
They don't.
Oh, really?
No.
You don't think women know the guys who are the suckers and the simps and who the players?
Oh, that's not. They don't take much to see that though, dog. They don't take much at all.
But I'm
Doesn't
saying
make them smarter though.
They
Because
know.
the smart thing about it is stay true and stay with that bag. That's the smart thing to do. But most of them do dumb shit and then leave it because they think the grass is always green on the other side.
They do dumb shit. They do
that's
do
when
dumb
stupidity
shit.
kick in, and that's what Shannon was talking about. How they gonna have them regrets 3 months down the road when they got to go and change their flat tire and they can't call the ex-husband no more because he's not available.
Hey, look.
How can you say both? How can you say that women know the difference between a simp and something else you said, but we always talk about they make bad decisions in men.
Okay, so I wish women in the chat would comment and say women know which guys are actually dealing with other women and which guys they can run the game on. They know this shit.
So then that's what but my question still remains. Then why do we continue to come up on here and then we say that women make bad decisions in picking men? If they know.
I think certain men say that. The people like Jay and me, I agree with Jay 1,000%. The other dudes say that. We don't say that. I say what Jay is saying because that's my experience. The other dudes say the other shit, and I totally disagree with them.
So you're saying that a woman is because you're saying, because I understand what you're saying now. You're saying that women are smart enough to know who the suckers are, and so she's going to go get impregnated by the sucker dude.
Yeah, both things are true, humble dad. So women are smart. They know, you know how they know the simp because she ain't giving them nothing, but she's getting everything. She knows that. And women got categories for men. So she's smart enough to know I really like this dude, so on and so forth. And this dude is a simp, and I can get money. He gonna come and put my furniture together.
Okay. So it's different types of women then, as you're relating that, because it's a woman, it's a particular woman that's able to be a scammer, versus a woman that is not. You know what I'm saying? Because it can't be both. You feel what I'm saying? Like
right now, there are women who have men in their phone as foodie date.
Yeah, I get that, bro. I understand. Yes, I understand that point. What I'm saying is that that it can't be the same woman is what I'm saying. Either she's smart or she's not smart, right? Because
I think it can be.
No, they're making bad choices. That's different, humble dad.
Right.
So,
but is that smart?
Making
though?
a bad choice,
Making a bad choice is smart.
But I don't think so.
But humble dad. So if it's between you and me,
I don't want you to do it the right way. It is. If you do it the right way, robbing a bank ain't necessarily smart, but if you get away with it, it is.
She's thinking about the short game. She's not thinking about the long game.
She can be a woman, humble dad, that's not as smart as you.
Can you start over? I didn't hear that. Say that again.
All right, can you hear me? All right, so she can be a woman that's not as smart as you, but she's smarter than me, right? So it can't be the same person, right? So it depends on, it's all relative, right? I may be a goofy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times women will check your temperature. You know what I'm saying? Especially in the beginning. They'll check your temperature to see if you're going to pay those bills or whatever the case may be. And once you're on that hook, you're on that hook. And that's the nature of the relationship going forward. That's why I ain't got nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? But when they check your temperature, if you fail that test, yeah, it is what it is. So.
Okay. So am I under the understanding that this is most women? That most women are out here trying to finesse dudes?
I'm not saying.
I would say it's a good portion of modern day women, right? As they get younger in age. So like if you're talking about Generation Z women right now, there's a much higher percentage of women that are familiar with finessing men. There's always been women who knew how to do that, but it's as you get younger in the ages, they are more concerned with that. It's all in the music. It's all in the culture right now. It's look at how our whole dating process is. It's different. Women have.
I'm gonna teach you how to back an 8-figure nigga.
Exactly. Women have so much more selection right now because of social media. Between Tinder, they don't even have to They could just swipe. Women have showed me their profiles, right? They showed me their stuff, and they have hundreds of messages. I'm talking crazy. So they have so much selection between all the simps, DMing them, and they inbox on Instagram. That's like a dating app right now. They have way too much of a selection. It's too easy for them. We can't do the same things. Even if you say Tinder, women swipe right 5% of the times, right? Men swipe right 50% of the time. And it's like 75% men at the same time. It's a whole sausage fest.
Humble dad. Let me tell you about something, right? And so some of the ladies in the chat, they gonna understand this, right? So you'll see a woman post something, like she may post some Prada high heels or something, or she may post a Chanel purse or something like that. And the whole point of her posting it is because she know that some guy literally is willing to send it to her. There are women who literally, if you look at the link in their bio, they have a wish list on Amazon or whatever it is. And guys that have never met them, will never meet them, will go to that wish list, buy whatever, and send it to their P.O. box. It's really that simple.
IG registry. And they cash app in their bio too.
Absolutely.
But that's all short game though. See, that's why I'm saying they're not smart, because they're not thinking about the long game.
That's
I mean,
exactly
you might get away on the short game. God damn, we all fell for the short game at one time in our life. We may not want to admit it or acknowledge it, but we all fell for the short game. But the long game is what it's all about. And if saying you're not capitalizing on the long game, you wasting your goddamn time and energy, and you ain't doing it but adding bodies up. So look here again. Jay says you may think these women are smart like that. They not, dog. Again, I'm that type of dude. I will wait you out while fucking your best friend. How smart are you? You would never know.
I'm not saying they smart like long term.
You said you were smart. You said they were smart.
I'm talking about they're smart of deciphering which man is which. They know the men who are the commitment type. They're
aware. They're aware. They're not smart, but they're aware.
Okay, that's a better word. They're aware of the men who are players and who are the ones are the marriage type. They know this.
Okay.
Yeah, we using terms like in the other side is discernment. Like women don't have good discernment. And that's what Humble Dad, like they having babies with niggas that they know they shouldn't be, or they have dreams of what he's going to be, but all the red flags was there and she just ignored them. So we got discernment, and then we have selection. And the difference between the different guys. Does she know that? They know that. But they also just have a shitty discernment detector. They fail on picking the right guys long term.
Okay, so he just used the wrong word, but I understand the information now. That's all I was trying to figure out. So then the clip says that a guy knows your girl better than you. Okay, got you. All right, that's to say what though?
Like she's telling him all the secrets. She's telling him all the shit she's not telling her man. She's telling him all the problems in the relationship. Women do that shit.
Okay.
That ain't what he meant by that. What dude straight up meant was there's a dude out there that knows more about your woman sexually than you do. In other words, she gave him way more sexually than she would have ever given you.
And so what does that say about him though?
I'm with you, Humber. That really doesn't say much at all. But I mean, there's some other out there she done did a whole lot more for. I mean, what can you do with that?
Bro, at the end of the day, what we talking about? We talking about
Cuddy. We talking about Cuddy.
We talking about
we talking about ass.
Hold on. We talking about attraction. That's something you can't control.
Man, yeah, you right, but
if there's some dude that can get in your lady ear, spit that game, and that's her type. It's up. What you gonna do?
No, that ain't what he said. That's not what he said, though. He said there's a dude out there who currently knows more about your lady than you do. That means there's some nigga in her past that done got more out of her sexually than you did, or can.
And
I mean, what is a man supposed to do with that information?
How would you know that though?
Bro, I think it's deeper than just knowing more about her sexually, though. What it really means is that there's a part of your woman's personality.
That's not what he was saying, though.
You don't know. No, but that's what he's trying to say. He's saying that essentially a lot of married women, there are men out there that while these women are married, that man knows a deeper side of that woman's personality than he knows. And that part of the personality is often accessed through sexuality. So meaning like there's a freaky side or whatever that she'll never show you. There's things that when you ask her to do it, she'll say, "Ill, I would never." But for another man, she's doing it without blinking her eye twice. And so you're looking at your woman and you're saying, "Wow, I don't even want to bring this to her because something like that would offend her. Like she's not that kind of girl." Meanwhile, you're completely unaware that the type of girl that you think she's not, she's exactly that kind of girl.
But
She's that girl.
how do you know that another dude knows your woman more sexually than you do?
That's the point.
There's no possible way to know that.
But the point isn't about you knowing. The point is that a lot of
it gotta be the point, bro.
The point is that
because
a lot
you're
of
making the
married
statement.
men don't know. That's the point, and they're walking around.
I can't really hear you. Let me.
The
like,
point.
Listen.
The point is that a lot of married men don't know, right? So they're walking around.
Okay, so it's because he's married. That's why. But if you got a girl, right? The previous dude could have wore her out in a way you can't. Okay, so the statement that you're making doesn't make sense, right? Is what I'm saying to you.
The video was about, bro. The video was about currently married women, meaning like while you're married, there's a guy right now that knows your wife sexually better than you while you're married to her.
I understand that he's trying to put a point on married men, right? And I'm saying that even if a dude is not married, he has a girl that he has a long term. She could have also have been ran through, and he made her his chick.
That's true.
So how could it matter? Is what I'm saying. It's irrelevant. His statement is no way.
It matters because you're equating someone to someone cheating on their husband. Those are two different.
I can't hear what you're saying. Real. Let me just say this, and I won't say this.
Hey, Clout, your mic is not on, by the way. So whatever mic you must be using your iPhone on the table for the mic because that one in front of you ain't working. It's something else. Go ahead, Humble Dad.
Yeah, I'm just saying. His statement is that a dude knows your woman better than you do. Okay, so what? And there's no way to even know that though. You feel me? There's no way to know that.
Also, to add to that,
okay, so Humble Dad, there's a couple ways that a guy can find that out. But I think with the point of that video, the dude driving the car and saying what he's saying, it's more so awareness. It's not, hey, you know what? This is what you need to do to go learn, or this is what you do. I get what you're saying. Like, why does that matter? The point is, there's a lot of guys out there that are selecting women, thinking that he knows everything about her and he doesn't. And the guy in the video saying, listen, fellas, you don't know what you think you know. There's a lot to your woman that you have no idea about. And it's just more of an awareness thing. Like, hey, you know what? Before you maybe make that plunge to go get that wedding ring or make that girl your girl and cuff her down and or invest in her or do all this extra kind of stuff, you might want to do a little bit more due diligence than normal, because right now it's far too many of y'all out there that think that you the man and that your next door neighbor or her homeboy or her quote unquote brother, you know, her bestie then bent her over backwards, sucked his dick backwards, and she won't even suck yours. And you probably are wondering why not? What am I doing wrong? It's because you are the cleanup man. It's because you're the guy you're the safe guy, and you're you are what Jay Stanza said. You're the guy I'm gonna marry for that paper, but I'm gonna smash Jay. And the guy, just like Jay is saying, and the guy in the car, fellas, snap out of it. I know you love her, I know you like her, but I need to give you some awareness. And if that could be you in this situation, please listen to this video so you may want to pay attention to a few more things than you have been before you decide to jump into marriage. Because there's a lot of married guys that didn't do this, and now it's too late for them.
But Shane, that's something we all gonna have to accept unless she's a virgin. That's something we all gonna have to accept unless she's a virgin. There's nothing we can do about it. It's
nothing you can do about that.
Right. It's a possibility another man knows it better than me. You are right. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't change it. I can't fix it. Only thing I can continue to do is do what I do and to continue to learn and discover her. That's all I can do.
Let's keep it a bean. There's some women.
I don't agree.
Well, the man's supposed to lead to sex anyway. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be teaching her. So what I'm saying, that's how it goes. So if a dude knows more than me, that means I'm not doing what I need to do. If that's the case, and that's what I'm saying. You can't know if a woman has had a different experience better than your experience. What you can do is do your best, find out what it is that she like, and get her to climax based on what it is that she tell you she like.
Yeah, but
Also,
that's based on
Watch
how she
Pornhub.
feels. That's how she feel about you, because she might not even like you like that. You're never gonna have the opportunity to even get her to that level if she's not feeling you like that.
I've
If she
never
don't
had
see
that
you
issue.
as that type of
I
dude,
don't
you
think a
can't
lot of men,
unlock
But
those
you wouldn't know
levels.
if you had that.
You're not
issue
gonna be
based
able to
off this
unlock those
discussion.
levels. So you could try to do all types of things. She gonna deny you, first of all, everything that she did with the dude. And you'll never know that she
honestly,
would even do those type of nasty things.
If you gotta take her on more than one date, she not feeling you. I'm serious. That's a fact. If you gotta take on 3 days, she's not feeling you like that.
Listen, it depends on what type of chick. Because there's some chicks you ain't got a date at all. You just tell them to come through Netflix and chill for real.
That's not true, Jay.
But I'll say this. That's for a lot of the young modern women for real. But there's some homegirls out here that ain't even doing that. They just, you know what I mean? They just have like a hard line where they just feel like, no, it's not happening before 90 days. It's not happening. And that's with any dude, just because that's their own personal belief, or they might have a fear of God in them or whatever. And that's not common in these days.
But she'll give you some head at least.
I can't necessarily say that Jay is wrong. I don't know what these new chicks are doing. They might do, because I know back, you know what I mean, way back in the gap, most people didn't think having sex on the first date was actually a thing.
Bro.
Yeah,
maybe nowadays these chicks are doing a whole lot. I wouldn't know.
It ain't just the new ones, bro. It's just the new ones.
Maybe nowadays it's probably hey, he wasn't
what
dealing
Sean
with
said. It's what Sean said. It's the new one. It's the new freshman class that's talking, that's doing what Jay stands. Jay, some of the old school chicks, you gotta work for it. But I get it.
It depends on who you are or who you were.
Let me ask the fellas something though.
I went probably at least a decade without taking a chick on a date, and I'm body slamming everything. It's either you coming through or I'm coming through. It's nothing.
Let me ask y'all something real quick.
One menu. If you flip the menu over, it ain't nothing but sausage on both sides of the menu. That's nothing else on the menu. Ain't no dates. It's only dick on the menu. That's it. So it just kind of depends on you and how you run your program.
Let me ask y'all something, fellas. We just talked about the chick, dude knowing your chick, but ain't there some women in your past that you done absolutely did some deplorable shit sexually with that you would not do with your wife?
No.
No. So y'all ain't never. You know what? I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna leave it alone because y'all lying y'all ass off.
I just want to add something real quick.
No, we not. Your wife should be used for recreational use as well.
Yeah,
y'all are lying y'all ass off.
Wifey's supposed to be down for whatever, or she can't be wifey. I'll put it like that. I'm not gonna be stuck with something and then out here trying to be faithful and she ain't with the
Sweetie
shit.
is the dude that old boy in the video was talking about.
What I'm saying is, all of y'all are lying y'all ass off. There's some shit you done did to a girl back in the gap that you would not do to your wife.
Won't do it with Sweetie.
So I'm just gonna come out and say it. So y'all running trains on your wives now?
I don't do running.
I never ran a train on a woman though, so I don't know.
All right, so that's a good point, Sweetie.
That was a good point.
I was just gonna say the only thing is 3Ds. That's it.
Bro, it's not lost on me that I realize a lot of times, like sometimes, like what Jay Stanza was saying and what I was saying, a lot of people hear it and it sounds unbelievable or it might sound crazy. I think a lot of times people don't realize how many dudes are on the same type of time. You'll just never hear them say that type of shit because we only say it to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It ain't a lot of niggas that's telling y'all the truth about they ain't taking no women out. It's just, man.
Yeah, you don't have to for a lot of them, especially the young joints. You don't have to. It's not a requirement.
People just
not a requirement. You don't have courting is optional.
Exactly.
And if you do decide to court them, and the problem is when you do decide to court them, now you in that lane. The dude, you're gonna be like the dude they was talking about in the video. You're gonna be that dude. You're gonna take care of all of the hard work. You're gonna do all the dirty work and turn them over to one of the real ones. And they're gonna do what they're supposed to do.
And while she out with that nigga, he getting her drunk. I'm texting her and she's sliding through afterwards. I'm not spending $1. And I'm not saying this is right now. I'm just saying throughout life, it's guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one.
So y'all basically saying that y'all some hoes, and then that's what y'all be looking for. That's basically what y'all saying.
I'm talking about.
I'm a reformed man.
See, over there, he had that last part. So we some
That's what
hoes.
I'm saying. They are capping.
But that's what we looking
This-
for. Come on, man. He always
this-
had that
That's
ass
what
fucking
that is,
caveat.
bro.
But look, what do I wonder, right? For the women, like I wonder what the women think. What do they think that they're the only one that know that he's the captain of the football team, that he's the quarterback, that he's the star basketball player, that he's the nigga with the Bentley, that he's the nigga that owns the club, that he's the nigga with the abs? Do they think that they're the only fine woman that she fucked on the first date?
Yes, that's the discernment. Yes.
Why this would sound foreign? Do you think that he's the only Omega? He's the only Q dog that bit your booty in the party. You're not the only one whose booty he bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't even understand why this would sound foreign to women.
And the thing about that,
What
women.
sounds foreign? What sounds
Shout
foreign?
out to the ass eaters.
Yeah. Oh, don't say that. But the women won't even want you. If they know you can't get women, they're not gonna want you anyway. If you're not already getting women, they're not attracted to you.
They got that discernment again. That discernment keep popping his head up.
So interesting.
Women want men that other women want.
Absolutely. They didn't go to Captain Beach Party or Bayou Classic or none of that stuff looking for the lame dudes, quote unquote. They was looking for them niggas, the niggas with the bread, the niggas with the muscles, the quote unquote fine niggas, the popular niggas.
I'm gonna be the lame dude and say that's the same thing with us. Like we don't be shooting our shot at most time with women that other dudes don't want. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
It works the same.
Y'all seriously think? Y'all seriously?
That's not true, bro. That's not true.
But we say what I want to say.
I can't say that.
But we say what I want
There's a difference.
There's a difference. I did what I had to do.
Don't make me nut, brother.
Y'all want to know why Diddy never got married? Because he out here pissing on women's chests. That's why he ain't never got married.
Look, I'm gonna tell you the difference between men. Women do it because they know other women want it. Men just so happen to appreciate a lot of the same things. But if I see a baddie and she got a little lady lumps on her, I don't care what none of y'all talking about. If it's a go and she my type, I'm jumping in. That's the difference. Women take that social status into account. Men don't.
But what I'm saying that most women want the same dude, right? They want the same with the top 10%, right? Us guys pretty much can go to a 5. You know what I'm saying? Most of us can go to a 5. So I'm saying that most of us are still going to be like trying to get to the same chick. If she thick and got a back, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever that flavor is, I'm saying most dudes are going to go for the same chick too. That's all I'm saying.
But some gonna take one for the team.
Proud. I mean, I mean, there's a lot of, humble dad. I mean, there's a lot of attractive women out here. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not 8, 9s, and 10s, but they're the adjustable 6, so the souped up 6. You know what I'm saying? That they go from a 6 to 8 overnight. You know what I'm saying? Some makeup, some weave, etc. And you know, they're just a lot.
You say weave or weave?
Weave.
Oh, okay.
Like hair extensions, things of that nature. But yeah, so I want to address a point in the video, and I don't know if we kind of hit on this. The reason why that chick felt she settled or to settle for less is because she didn't even qualify for what she wanted. She didn't even qualify herself. You know what I'm saying? Because if she was that woman and she was that chick, dudes would have been scooped her up. Dudes would have been cuffed her because they would have seen the inherent value in her to begin with. But there are dudes who see that chick and they're like, yeah, she's only in this category. She's only in this zone. You know what I'm saying? She's not in the wifey long-term relationship. And there are outliers. I don't want to speak for all, but there are outliers, right? But I think for the most part, a dude who's moving that way, right, is a dude who has a lot of women and who has access to a lot of women. And he's not going to give that up, especially for that chick who he doesn't deem to be special. She's just one of 5, one of 10. She's on a roster, on a rotation list. And that's just the truth. But the dude who thought that she was bad and that he could probably wife her and probably have something long term, she doesn't want him. She thinks that she is settling. In reality, that's who she qualifies for, because she didn't even qualify herself for the type of man that she wanted or for the type of man that she thought that she deserved, right? A lot of women are not qualifying themselves for the type of man that they want. They just say this, this, and this, and I want this, and they think that you could go find it on the department store shelf, and that couldn't be far from the truth. You know what I'm saying? They're not really doing the work on themselves. Some of them are. Some of them. I won't speak for all. Some of them are not doing at work to kind of be attractive, not only sexually, but relationship attractiveness. You know what I'm saying? And those dudes could pick that up on what type of woman. And she would have been squatted. She would have been scooped up by the type of dude that she wants. The only reason she thinks that she's settled is because she's evenly yoked with the dude who's seeking her out, because they're on the same wavelength. She's shooting outside her league.
Nobody got anything to say to that?
Look, listen. I'll put it like this. I'll put it like this. You got. It's like, all right. We compare this to basketball, right? Like, women can sense it. Like, let's say you see somebody. Let's say Steph Curry or whatever. When he hot, he hot. When he not, he not. When he's not making it, it gets worse a lot of times. It happens with a lot of basketball players, right? Just because they don't have the confidence, because they shooting their shot and they missing it. Women can sense when you shoot your shot and you make it. They can sense that. They know who they supposed to get when they know who they're not supposed to get with. Dudes that are used to being around women that know how to navigate those type of situations, know how to talk to women, have charisma, have confidence. They understand that. They know they're supposed to smash or not. They already have that in their brain already. When they first see you, they already know. The first thing that a woman wants to do with you is purpose you. And how you come off and how you present yourself is what's your purpose is going to be most of the time. And it's not the purpose that you try to get. It's going to be the purpose that she has for you. Now, if she knows that all she's going to be able to get is sex out of you, women want sex just as much as us. They just want to have some type of value for it if they can get it. But if they feel like that sex is valuable from you and you her type, she going to jump right in.
Facts.
So I've been reading the comments this whole entire time. Well, they said, Witty Jim said, y'all swear y'all know women, and that's the problem. We know women and how we encounter them. That's what we know. We may not know what's going on in y'all inner workings of y'all crazy ass minds and all the shit y'all think about, but we know how we experience y'all.
We know enough.
Y'all.
We know the important parts.
All we care about is knowing enough to be successful with women. That's the bottom line. Everything else is irrelevant. We know enough to be successful with women. That's the issue. And if we could accomplish that, nothing else matters. At least not to me. I can't speak for everybody.
And one thing that Jay Stanza said, and he said the same thing I hear countless women talk about, and they overlooked it. You know how many women I hear who talk about how they don't want to get married anymore because of how many married men are in their DMs? How many married men how many married men scared them off because they always trying to holler at them? He just told us there are a lot of married women. And he ain't the first gym instructor or trainer that I've heard say this. How many married women they encounter that, you know what I mean, that are easy to sleep with. So he's essentially just saying the same thing that I hear a lot of women say out here. So is it beyond a realm of possibility that he could be dealing with a lot of married women out there that are throwing a whole, you know what I mean, that are willing, as long as it stays quiet and he don't say nothing, they willing to go for it.
I know some men who only deal with married women.
Let me throw this out here real quick for Jay before we move on to the next topic. Jay Stanza. The one thing that I have an issue with with your story from with being a trainer and you sell shoes. And by the way, if he works at Nordstrom Shoes, Jay could make $100,000 a year easily, at least out here in LA, just in the shoe department alone. I know retail. Jay, my issue is that when I asked you, did she get married, or did you let him know? And you said, I'm not telling nobody. We know about what we call the sisterhood. Jay Stanza, you even yourself said women are loyal to themselves to a fault oftentimes. Men, we need to get like that. There's no brotherhood. And I know typically it's always every man for himself, and we go out and we doing what we do, and that ain't on me. I ain't got nothing to worry about that. We need to get to the point. I know we're not there yet, but let's go. This is the reason why we're having King Talk. No women are allowed on this panel. The reason that we're having the manosphere, the reason why we're trying to level up men in their thinking in every facet of life is so that we can be better and give no ammunition to the naysayers and the haters and the women and feminism that is trying to tear us down. So I'm not saying don't smash the homie's wife. I'm not saying that. Although I don't want you to do that again, Jay Stanza, please. I'm asking you that in the event you do that again, let that man know what he has, what he thinks he has.
That's the thing.
Let that man know.
That was not my homie.
No, I don't. I know you don't, and I want it to be to the point where you don't have to know him. It could be an anonymous phone call. It could be a, hey man, I just want to let you know this is what you're investing in. I want you to prepare yourself. Because for all you know, in 6 months she's gonna run. You're gonna find out, and then she's gonna take everything from you, including the kids, and you're gonna be another bad story over here on YouTube watching us. We have to protect each other, fellas. I get it. I know pussy is good. I get it. I like it too. But we have to protect each other because what's happening is men are getting destroyed. You know the courts. We talked about that 2 weeks ago. We know the statistics. We know what's happening out here. And women can go out here. Well, you got one woman who's married, and then she's cheating on the guy. These two dudes fight. One goes to jail. The other one's dead. And she goes off to go fuck another guy another day. No ramifications, nothing happened to her. That's not cool. And what would happen is, and I see videos all the time. I just saw one. There's one on my story right now on Instagram, right now as we speak. And I'm saying, don't get mad. It was where a dude was getting mad that it was like a TV show or something. A dude was getting mad that another, like her bestie, was touching her stomach, and he got mad at the guy. And I want guys to stop getting mad at guys. I want you to get mad at your girl. Why did your girl allow access to her bestie to rub on her stomach? Your problem should have been with your bitch, not with her, not with him. And so what needs to happen is, and if men come together and create the brotherhood, the way the women got this sisterhood, we'd be able to eradicate a lot of our headaches. So Jay, while you smashing your trainees and you smashing the women that's coming in to get a pair of stilettos, you got to start thinking about that brother that's going to be brokenhearted and broken, and his kids taken away from him, all because she's selfish. We have to start helping each other, men, so we can fix some of the issues that these women has been fucking running rampant for the last 30 years.
Can I add to that real quick? I think Shannon made a great point, but I think one thing that you're overlooking is, like, unfortunately, a lot of these dudes out here are very sensitive. And a lot of dudes are delusional, especially a lot of married men. They do not want to even entertain the concept that they woman might be doing something behind their back, and you trying to inform them is just gonna unleash the wrath of God on you. You know what I'm saying? Like that'll fuck around, get you beat up, get you shot, get you stabbed, get you killed, all because you tried to inform somebody. Matter of fact, I've had this experience with a homie of mine, someone that I grew up with. One night I was out, I hadn't spoken to him for a couple months. I saw his wife out in the club kissing on some dude. Called him like, yo, bro, what's going on? Are y'all still together? Did y'all get divorced? What's going on? Dude cursed me the hell out. Mad as hell. Violated, talking crazy about me, my mom, all type of crazy stuff, all because I tried to let him know that his woman was cheating on him. So I get that. That makes sense, but it's very difficult. Now, another thing I wanted to add is, earlier I heard someone ask, they said, like, why is it important? I think the reason why it's so important that we understand this duality that happens, like what Jay Stanza was talking about how women are categorizing men and having different personalities and characteristics for those men. I think it matters because a lot of times when it comes to failed marriages, we often turn that lens on men and we say, oh, well, the marriage failed because you as a man on some level failed to fulfill some role. When really sometimes it's not that the man failed to fulfill a role, it's just that he was completely unaware of the person who's with. And not because he wasn't trying to know that person, not because he wasn't doing his due diligence, but because she was just that good at deceiving him. And I feel like sometimes when someone's deceived, we don't give the deceiver credit. We love giving credit to the person deceived and say, oh, they're a fool. But you got to sometimes remember that some deceivers are just very good at their job. Not everyone who gets scammed is an idiot. Some people get scammed because the scammer was just that damn good, and you just got to give them that credit. So that's what I got to say.
Yeah, but we can say that, Clap, but we know we know what society's going to say. We know where society's going to lay that blame at. Unfortunately,
I'm gonna tell you that I could give it down what society say.
I got you.
You can't convince me that if I wasn't the problem, you ain't gonna convince me that I am. But no, though, I did want to add to the problem with what Shannon, and this kind of go align with kind of what Big Clout said. The reason why Jay Stanza ain't gonna go and tell that dude that, hey, yeah, man, I was plugging your fiance in. You know what I mean? I had her upside down in the back room while she was lifting weights. Is because, and the reason why this is so easy for women to do, because we see women all the time go and tell the old girl, sis, I've been dealing with your man. Women ain't afraid of each other. There is no low level of violence between women. They don't care. They're not afraid of shit going left. Men, however, he has to think about himself. Like, yeah, even if I did go up and tell this dude, he might up one on me. You know what I mean? He might try to do X, Y, Z to me, even though he may not be scared of the dude per se. That don't mean most men want to walk into a situation and just kick off a fight for no apparent reason, especially if he can avoid it. So I think before we can even get to that point that Shannon is saying that we got to beat them, we got to get rid of the low level of violence that can occur between us to begin with.
That ain't gonna never go away.
Well, then we can't go around. You can't have Jay Stanza.
We're always gonna have the level of the low level of violence is always gonna be there. I'm asking people to just be brave. I'm just asking men to be brave, and I'm not even saying that you need to tell the husband or the woman that you smash it. But I'd like you to. I get what I'm saying is ideological. It's probably crazy. I'm in La La Land again. I get it. I understand. I'm in fantasy land. I'm in a fantasy land where men protect men. That's where I'm at. I'm in a land in my fucking delusion world where brothers back each other up. And I can be sure that Jay Stanza is watching my six. I get it. That's not here on earth, but that's what I like. And if I can help it, I want to just put it out there. Whether you do it safely from a distance, anonymously, or whether if you see like Clout said he saw his boy snapped at him. I want Clout to be brave enough to say, that's all right. I know you. I want Clout to be brave enough to say, I know that's your feeling speaking, and you don't really mean all that shit talking about my mom and me and all that because you just heard some shit that hit you real hard. And I want Clout and other men to be brave enough to do it. That's all I'm asking.
I agree with that 100%. I don't because when I had that situation, I actually had to do exactly what you said. So I definitely agree with that. But on top of that, I think it's a good idea too to just not smash nobody's woman. Like, I mean, I know it sounds kind of crazy. It might sound a little extreme, but respectfully though, like I'm a strong believer of like, you put out in the world what you want to receive, right? So like karma and all of that, like I kind of believe in that, like balance. So it's like, all right, if I'm out here smashing people's wives, right? I kind of have to leave the door open for my wife to get smashed or something like that, or for something like that to happen to me. Kind of like I don't want that, but it's like if you don't want that energy out in the world, like you can help by not putting out there. Like for example, when a woman's trying to sleep with you, when you know she has a husband, you could literally look her dead in the face, and be like, "Come on, you know you got a husband. That's wrong. You should go back to your husband," and put that seed in her mind to be like, you know what? Maybe maybe if you shame her for it, she'll be like, you know what? I'm messed up. I really was just about to go mess with my trainer. I need to take my ass home and go talk to my husband.
You're talking about morality, though. You're talking about somebody. You're asking somebody to have morals. And people
most of the cats who do this, they ain't got no picks, man. It's just happening. Like they don't consider that type of thing. It is what it is. Shoot first, ask questions later.
But that's
Don't
not
go
what
and go
they
for the
say.
kill. You're not
And that's
trying
what
to.
we got picked, though.
We talking about men who know, like there's a lot of times where you know straight up that girl got a man, you know she got a boyfriend or whatever the case is. Like it's nothing wrong with just being like, you know what, I don't need that one. There's a bunch of single women out there. Like you can have, and I feel like if you have an abundance mindset, have an abundance mindset when it comes to women, it's like I could pass on this one. Like I don't need every woman that comes across like that becomes an opportunity for me. Like I don't have to take every one. So it's like, okay, this one has a boyfriend, I'll pass. This one has a husband, I'll pass. This one's single, fair game. You know. Bro, sometimes the love of your life is connected to another person at the moment.
You gotta be out your mind.
I can't have no love for nobody connected to nobody else like that.
Maybe, oh my, come on, Sean.
Sometimes the right person for you.
You'd be surprised.
That sounds simpish to me. You in love with somebody who's with somebody else? Look, I'm saying, bro. Sometimes the person that is eventually going to be your person, when you meet them, let's just say you met them 2 years ago. Maybe they were connected with somebody. And maybe you didn't deal with them at the moment, and maybe time passed and y'all started talking, and she transitioned from that relationship and she became the one for you, quote unquote. So I'm just saying, to me, I'm not saying I do this today, but what I am saying is that it's not my responsibility to give a fuck about your situation. I don't care. I'm not even going to ask because I'm not going to know. I'm not going to ask.
Look, that's fair, but
that's not fair.
That's fair, but here's the problem that comes with that, right? Here's the problem that comes with that. When you know in the back of your mind, and all of y'all have experienced this if you smash somebody else's girl and then dated her after, right? If you've done this, the moment that she becomes your girl, you're now gonna remember all of the moments that she told you that she was texting him, telling him, "Oh nah, babe, I'm at work." You're gonna remember all those little moments, and it's gonna drive you crazy, and you're not gonna be able to take her seriously.
That's not true, bro. My assumption is always that most people cheat. That's always my assumption. So I temper my expectations. So I'm never blindsided.
Okay.
Wait, time out. Flag on the play. Hold on. I know.
Let me go before you, bro.
I know this ain't the same dude from last week.
Don't take my point. Don't take my point, please.
I know this ain't the same.
Please, don't take my point, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Cook him, HD. Cook him, humble. Cook.
That say he mentors dudes, meaning that he cares about their life in their situation that they're in. However, when they get older and they have a woman, he's cool with fucking them.
Time out. I hate when you niggas on the internet do that, bro.
You keep saying niggas on the internet. That ain't it.
I really do. Seriously,
that ain't what I am,
serious, right? So
not what I am.
I am a person who runs programs to help to keep young dudes from running in your house and doing something violent to you. That's different than saying I'm responsible for who they date. That's a totally different thing, bro.
You don't think fucking that girl gonna make them do something violent?
You can't make one thing morally wrong and then it's all bad.
Man, I think
the quickest way to make a nigga get violent is dealing with his women, bro. I don't know what you're talking about right now.
I think
that's crazy, bro. Like that's the wildest thing I've ever heard on King Talk.
Hey man. Yeah. So look, dig this, bro. Y'all, whoever y'all mentor, y'all probably don't mentor nobody. Y'all mentor them that way.
Several people.
My thing is getting them out of prison, getting them to become productive citizens, right? So
fucking other niggas' wives is not productive, bro.
And look, I'm dead serious, right? I'm having a real conversation now. This ain't even about dating. So maybe my job, my role is to take them when they're 12, 13, 14, 15 and get them to the point where they can meet a mentor like you. Maybe I'm the bridge. You know what I'm saying? We always talk about a village. Maybe that's not maybe that's not my ministry. Maybe your ministry is that because you're more credible. You're more credible on that. My ministry is making sure that they don't murder people. You know what I'm saying?
You just said
no point ain't at all, bro.
I mean, look, I get what Sean's saying. You know what I'm saying?
Look, real talk. I just found out one of my mentees just got killed today, and I'm really not in the mood to be playing. So I'm being very, very serious. My role is very specific. Maybe my role is to get them to a certain point. I'm not trying to be everything to everybody. I'm trying to do very specific things. I'm not trying to be the love coach for anybody. I'm not saying I'm perfect in any way. I'm not glorifying any decisions I made with women at any point. I'm just saying my role is very specific. And I applaud you guys for being better men than me as it relates to this. That's why I don't talk shit about what y'all say. Y'all are better men than me as it relates to this. So for me, a soft handoff, hey, this is Humble Dad. He's going to guide you in this way. I think that's very important. That's just not my role. But the important thing is I'm not telling them to do these things that I did. I'm telling them I did this and this is where I went wrong. So I don't want to have a disingenuous conversation. I'm not highlighting any of this thing like it's the thing to do. I've learned hard lessons from these things, which is why I'm not glorifying them. I'm just speaking to the realities of life.
That's fair.
I can get what he's saying. You know, he could get the young man to a certain point where now he needs to hand him off to me, and I could talk to the young man about, you know, having, you know, alcohol and being an alcoholic and how to deal with it. You know, advise him maybe what meetings he need to go to, sit down with a sponsor and have a sponsor, you know, with him on call 24/7. Sean may not know nothing about that because he never had to deal with alcoholism, but I'm able to do it because I dealt with it. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of understand what he's saying. It's like the offensive coordinator doesn't really know too much about the defense, but, you know, I got a guy who plays both positions, so I need for him to go over with the defense side on defense on Tuesdays and work with the defensive coordinator. But come on Wednesdays, he's got to come back on offense because I need him to be a tight end for me on offense. So, you know, you work with that guy on that day, you work with him. So, you know, I mean, I understand.
No way, bro. No way, bro.
I got you.
No way. Listen, man.
Hold on. You never had some. You're lacking in certain area that you never had to hand off to somebody. Say, hey, I'm not an expertise on this particular thing.
Yes.
You know, hey, I would want you to talk to the young man and maybe help and guide him in this area.
I get that as a point, though, right? I get that as a point. This is the problem. Somebody needs to mute themselves. This is the problem. Whenever we have conversations, it's very important to be consistent in thought, and also it should carry over with whatever other particular point that you have to make. It's called logic, right? So if I am saying that I'm a mentor, one of the biggest things about being a mentor is that you should be leading by example, right? So that's the part about being a mentor, right? So as well as being a parent, you know that, Hank, you being a parent, it's better for you to lead by example than to say, this is what you should do. Well, if they see what you're doing, then that's probably how they're going to live based on what it is that you do, right? When Sean said last week that he mentors young dudes to not be violent, right? But then comes back this week and said that he's not going to look out for the dude that he cheated on his wife or his girl with. That's a contradiction, because he's going to look out for the dude that
you're talking apples and oranges. How's that a contradiction?
I'm not talking apples and oranges. It's just that
it's talking about that's apples and oranges. What?
First of all, I want to say I'm 100%.
How did you build a bridge from that to that?
Well,
I was 24 years old when I went back to Chicago and started working with the worst kids in the projects, bro. So first and foremost, you think that at 24 years old, I had the wherewithal to even think about any of the things you're talking about.
Okay.
I think a lot of times y'all sound like y'all are disconnected from how certain things work with young people.
No, I'm not disconnected.
With Stanza, when he says certain things, it sounds foreign and it doesn't make sense.
No, it's not that. It's that I deal with a lot of generation. No, it's not that. I think you all try to project and think I'm not as intelligent as y'all think.
I think you're very intelligent. I think you're very intelligent. I never said that.
But I'm saying, as far as being from the hood and the streets and not being relevant, I'm more relevant than you think, is what I'm saying. So when y'all try to dismiss me because of my age or because of my intelligence or whatever the case, then that's when you're being disingenuous, because I'm literally hitting you with facts and honesty and logic when I tell you that you need to be consistent as an elder to say, this is how I lived like that one way, and that's wrong of what I did. And so what I'm trying to do or what I've done is try to make it better. And so if you say, you know what, I'm not going to look out for the dude that I smashed his girl, and I know I smashed his girl, you know what I'm saying? And Shannon is only saying, why would you let that dude go through being married? That doesn't make, you're saying, well, I don't care. Then how is it on one end you can care about the black man, but then on the other end you don't care about the black man? I don't care.
So, Humble Dad, everything you said is what I just said that I do, but that's whatever. I know you wanted to get to your point. Either way it goes, I don't know why I have to keep saying this disclaimer. I say this every week. I'm not talking about me right now. I'm talking about when I was younger. I keep saying that, and I guess I got to keep saying that same disclaimer. I'm not talking about Sean right now. I'm talking about Sean when Sean was younger.
You didn't mention. You didn't say.
All right, y'all.
When I was younger.
We got to go ahead and shift. Let's go ahead and get to the meat of the conversation. I had one more topic I wanted to get to, so we got enough time on the back end. I'll go ahead and filter it in. Let's go ahead and get other people involved. Your super chats came through. Big Mac 1999 says, I agree with Jay Stans and married women cheat more than single women. Truth hurts. Chad Pool 199 says, married men cheat too, my guy. We don't care. Chad Pool 199 says, I agree with Jay. Real players know the game. Chad Pool again 199 says, if a woman not spending money on you, she don't F with you. BZ, formerly Baby Zaddy, $5 also a member, says, y'all not helping these young people relationships at all with these hotels. Michael Newell became a member. Salute to you. Welcome to Green Gang. And we got a $10 from Michael Newell, who just became a member. Want to thank the people that's contributed. Appreciate you. Much love. Let's go ahead and get to the meat of the conversation. I do have one more after that. If we got enough time, we'll see. But the next topic is when you outgrow your partner. Here we go.
40, and these are things that I would not do again in my 20s and 30s. I would not get married. I met my husband when I was 24, and we got married when I was 29. At the time, I thought that this was like the ideal situation. I'm at the perfect age to get married. But what I realized was in the 4 years that we were married, I grew so much as a person. I graduated from business school, started my own business. I just became such a different person that I didn't feel like he was the best fit for me anymore. And I don't think I could have realized that at 29 when I said yes. If I could do it again, I would have allowed myself to have so much more growth in my life before I made a decision on a life partner. And it's really nothing against that partner specifically, but it was more about the direction that I wanted my life to take. My interests by 35 were unrecognizable to my younger self. And I don't think it would have been fair for me to take him on this journey if I didn't think that he was the right partner for the version of me that was to come.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. When you outgrow your partner.
Translation, she started making some money. She started making some money while married to him, and basically felt like she was better than him, and so she left him. That's what everything she said just meant. You know what I mean? Just to clear that up.
Yeah, exactly.
Let me ask you a question. I don't know if I heard it correctly. Did she say she met him at 24 and she got married at 25? Is that what she said?
When these girls say outgrow, when they say when these ladies say I've been growing, what they mean is I've made more income.
She met him at when she was 24. She married him at 29. She was married for him for 4 years, so she got divorced at 33.
Okay, that's what I thought.
And then when she was 35, she said she was unrecognizable. Boy, I'm telling you, these women is gonna keep all y'all young women single. If y'all don't listen to us men, ladies, these women is gonna have y'all lives miserable. They are actively recruiting for the golden girls. They are actively recruiting for you to join the harem of living in a fucking stoop somewhere with 6 women raising cats and dogs and gardening in the backyard. And it's only that is where we're heading. If you keep listening to these women who tell you, you know what, I basically leveled up, which she's probably failing to mention it was her husband that gave her the ability to do the shit that she did. It was likely, I'm not saying, I don't know her situation. I may not know what the fuck I'm talking about. It could have been her mama, but it's likely her husband gave her the ability to go to school and finish and do everything that she did, gave her the space and created an environment for her to thrive in to become the woman that she is now. And when she realized that she wanted something different, she threw his ass away. That's probably what happened. And she's probably single today, and she probably will remain that way for the rest of her life.
Yeah, here's the tripped out part. She talked about, This is when I found out what kind of life partner I had. How is that working out for you? You leveled up. You leveled up. You there. You reached the mountaintop. Where's your life partner at? Where's your man? You should have him by now. You should be that easy. You are Asian, and the group that makes the most money in this country are Asians and Middle Eastern. You shouldn't have a problem finding a man. Where is he at? Why you sitting up here trying to tell these women how you can grow and outgrow your partner? Where is that man at?
I could guarantee. Go ahead. I could guarantee you that this lady is going to remain single. The one thing that I could appreciate is that she didn't blame her partner because it's all her fault. Women, this is just hypergamy at its finest, right? Of course, she feels like she's going to get a bigger, better deal because women sometimes are silly enough to feel like the same thing that they are attracted to is what we are attracted to. We don't care about money and status because for the most part, we don't always have access to it. It doesn't really do much for us. She's gotten worse. She's outside of her prime now. She's what, like a size 18, 20 right now? She thinks that she's about to get somebody who's making at least as much as her or more. And now she does not feel like he's her equal. They're not equally yoked anymore. And she's going to regret it. Guaranteed.
Hey, Smooth. Do you believe that she, like you said, she didn't blame him? I think she low-key did. I think it wasn't direct. But you don't think it was a reverse Uno card that she pushed? You know what? I leveled up, and so I felt that he wasn't good enough for me no more. Isn't that, in other words, a diss? You don't see it like that?
I can see, yeah, definitely. There's no soft way to take it, right? It was horrible what she did, but she didn't say it was because he, like, she understood that the type of man that he was just what he was always going to be, and she didn't fault him for that. She just selfishly decided that I want more. It didn't seem as if she blamed him.
But my problem is, I mean, that 5 years of dating him or engaging with him, she didn't know that then.
No, once she starts hanging around different pairs and seeing how different men get,
her selfish ass waited till she got married for 4 years and then decided, yeah, he just not. So I'm having a problem with that, man.
No, she didn't do that. She didn't see none of that. She didn't detect that because it wasn't until she got the bag. It wasn't until she got when she was from 24 to 29, she was just a regular old motherfucker.
Oh, bro, chick,
he was just a regular old motherfucker. It was when she got after 29, she went ahead and had the space to become who she became, and that's when she said, "Oh, we're incompatible, so we might as well go ahead and break this off." So I would love to interview, or at least Humble Dad to interview that husband or that ex-husband. Oh my God, I bet we hear a whole different
promotions. And she was done. She said, "Fuck you. You're not worth it no more. I outgrew you." Just like Tia, what's that? Tia Myra or whatever. Yeah. Look, there's some selfish assholes out there. We just got to admit, there's some selfish assholes out there, and that's how some of them move like that. You know what I'm saying? And what's going to hurt for them real women out there, it's going to make them suffer. Because men going to sit back and look, man, how did I know all y'all heifers ain't like this? How I know all you other heifers ain't moving like this? It's only a matter of time. And so you got women like that who scared the death out of guys like Jay Stanza, who put fear in his heart for me to even get married. Like, why would I want to go through this? If she going to turn around 4 years later and outgrow me.
And fuck Jay Stanza, because that's her personal trainer. And that's who sells her shoes.
Shout out to the Al Bundys.
I was going to say, this is what happens when men follow women's lead.
Like she was...
Hold on, we live in a gynocentric society where women try to do the timeline of how things should go. So you're 24. What are you doing as a man thinking about getting married? Like, what? You're not even, a lot of men come up later. You don't even have your whole life together yet. But you could tell from her character, she's getting her education. She has a timeline of how she wanted her life to go. The problem is, a lot of women don't know who they are young. They think they know what they want. They think they know who they are. Then life comes, progression, the bad comes, and now they want something different. Now she's meeting different men, different caliber of men. Now she's a whole new person. The person you married at 24, I just made a video about this. The person you married at 24 will not be the same person at 30, 35, 40. So I can't roll the dice on this situation, this marriage thing, because I don't know what's going to happen. It's 50-50.
You know what's crazy? What Jay Stanza is saying is kind of wild. It's not wild in a bad way because he's, in a way, he's right. He's like, well, what do you know at 25? But in the sense of, I get what he's saying because he doesn't believe in marriage at this point because of what he's saying. But he is right. And everybody changes over time. There ain't one period of time where you're the same exact person you was 7 to 8 years ago. The problem here is that we learn to not understand that we change over time. And the part of the commitment is staying through change. That's part of the commitment is understanding. Hey, you might, you know what I mean? You and your partner may have been drinking y'all lives away. Y'all been kicking it your whole entire time. She may find up feeling like she got a life together where she doesn't want to drink no more. That's a change. That's a change in lifestyle. That's a change in how y'all kick it. That's a change in what places y'all go to. There's a lot of things that change in that moment. So it's crazy that she sat here, this woman sat here and felt like, oh, just because I got a better career or I got a degree, now that that means I outgrew my husband. This is what I meant when I said majority of y'all are divorcing for dumbass reasons. You divorced your husband because you got a better job? So when they mention the fact of when it's irreconcilable differences, or y'all say it's finances that's the issue, that's really that's a lot part of the reason why what's going on. You got more money and you felt like, okay, I'm better than you.
And half the time it's because of him that she got that bread. Half the time is because he pushed her to do something or said, okay, cool. Or he was thinking, yeah, you know what? You gonna have yours. My brother, he had a deal with his wife that this is a long time ago. You go to college, I'm gonna work. And then when you finish with college, you work and I'm gonna go get my degree. Well, his wife got her degree, and then he was like, okay, ready to switch. She said, no, let me do a stretch goal. Let me get one more degree because I only got to take these extra classes. Oh, okay, cool. Another 2 years go by. She got 2 degrees now. All right, you ready to switch? I should just get my master's now. Okay. She went another 2 years. Now she got 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's. He's like, you ready to switch? No, I'm fucking the old homie that just got out of jail and left my brother. What? Are you fucking kidding me? What, this nigga slaving over the house doing listen, the thing is, and I fucking had a good point. I forgot what it was gonna go to Jay Stanza. I'll come back to it. Y'all jump. Y'all fix it.
This is why when I was talking to Jay Sandler, letting him know these women ain't smart. This woman made a bad decision. Because again, she's gonna have some regrets in a couple years when she realized, well, guess what what's gonna do to that man? She gonna create a monster, and this dude's gonna get a couple more promotions, maybe even a job change somewhere else. That's gonna start, maybe even start his own business and come up off the ground and do something. Then she gonna look like, damn, he done really came up. And I'm still at a good job, but you know, I haven't got no more promotions or no upgrade since I got them other ones that I passed them. And now I done broke up my marriage, and I'm not getting what I'm getting because, like I said, I thought I had kicked my confidence. I thought I was better than what I really was. Like I think Luis, you were saying that, or somebody was saying. I think you or Shannon was saying that you know she didn't realize she's not as good as she thinks she is.
Let me ask y'all a question, fellas.
Sweet, let me throw this out.
No, she thought that she was better than the men that she qualified for.
Yes.
That's the reality.
Exactly.
No, but dig this. This is why I'm an advocate for age gap dating. This is why I'm an advocate for age gap dating. This is why I believe that older men should date younger women. Younger women should date older men. She said, she opened up her statement with, if I could change anything in life, I wouldn't get married in my 20s. She got married at the end of her 20s, by the way. She said 29. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? You got married at 29. It's only a few months away before you came 30. But the point is, she said, like, the beginning of her bad advice to women was that she wouldn't have got married in the 20s. And you know how I feel about that. Women should get married as soon as possible, early as possible. in the 20s for sure, early 20s if they can. But I believe in age gap dating because I believe probably, and this is kind of what Jay Stans was saying, that she'd married somebody who was just now getting started in life too. And so many women young fall in love with their peers from high school, and they're all struggling, and women is turn around and is looking for him to do his manly husband job. And he's like, well, shit, I'm trying to get the damn same promotion that you get. Whereas if she's 24 and she was dating a guy that was, say, 34, he's already there. And so she's playing catch up if that's what he wants under his roof, and things will be a lot better in the long term. So I believe she probably got with somebody that was just like straight on her level, was in school with her, probably met him in college, the whole nine. And that typically works for other cultures anyway, because they kind of get it. It's weird to hear this from a woman of her descent, but that's why I push. Don't listen to some of these older women telling y'all young women don't do things that they failed at, because they'll sell it so good, like she sold it so good, and that's only half of the story. When you hear the other half, you'll be frightened or like, what the fuck? Or straight up, why did you omit that? Because a lot of women lie through omission.
I got a question.
Yeah, the only reason she's lying like that, Shan, is because she's trying to go after the same men that those younger women are going after. She's competing with the younger women for the same type of man that she wants. But the unfortunate part is that the man that she qualified for, the man that she was in line with, she thought that she was better than him because she got a little bit more money. You know what I'm saying? And in reality, she should have been working with that man to, expand his bag, or better yet, the income, that household income.
I don't think she
So
should
y'all
have.
saying that y'all don't think that there's such thing as good marriages? Because that's really all we've talked about tonight. That there's really no such thing as good marriages.
I think it is. I just think
I can't say that. I think I'm in a good one.
I think there are good marriages, right? I think there are good marriages, but I think this is the major problem with marriages. Why there aren't so many good marriages is because when you're dealing with women, you have to deal with women from a position of power. At the end of the day, that's what women are really attracted for. Now, here's the problem with marriage, right? In the society that we live in order to effectively be married to a woman, you're effectively giving up power, right? You have to give up a level of power, leverage, control, whatever you want to call it, in order to be married and in a commitment with a woman. The moment that you give up that power, you've lost attraction immediately. Whether you want to lose that attraction or not, you've immediately lost the attraction because you've compromised. You've now made your decision based off of someone else. Whether you want to accept that that's what you're doing or not, that's exactly what it is. And women sense that. Women can sense that. The moment that you've now altered your life to go along with what she wants for her life, she's now lost attraction for you because you're no longer in a position of power. And who's the guy who's in the position of power? The guy like Jay Stanza who's training her. Why? Because when she goes and gets trained by him, she has to pay him trained. She has to listen to his instructions when she goes and gets trained. She knows that he has multiple women and multiple options. So Jay Stanza is the one who's in a position of power. So unfortunately, a lot of marriages are not working because the moment these men get married to the woman, they lose their power, and then the next man outside seems so much more powerful, and it triggers that hypergamy instinct because she knows you can't leave that easy, but she knows that she can't get Jay Stanza that easily. So which is more advantageous for her? To try to keep you who's not going no anyway, or for to put her all behind attaining something that has perceivable higher value? She's going to go for what perceives higher value. And there's something in women that likes to dominate power subconsciously. She's going to go after Jay Stanza to see, maybe I could get him just like how I got my husband. Maybe I could get him calling me. Maybe I could get him to commit. And guess what? The moment she gets Jay Stanza to do it, she going to want another trainer.
So you think that's what it is. You think that many women are cheating in their marriages?
It's not about them cheating. I just think that it's much harder. No. I'm just saying that I'm not saying that they're all cheating. I'm just saying it's extremely difficult for husbands to be in a position of power, and therefore it opens up the door.
That's not true though. A man is always going to be in a position of power, right? Okay. So, It's if he relinquishes, is that you may say something like that. If he's not doing what he's supposed to do, if he's not on his job, and
Nah, that's not what I mean, humble dad. By you getting married, right? By just you being married, a woman can divorce you. You've given up your power.
Can I ask
You've given her the power to even divorce you and take something from you.
let's go
So you're no longer in a power position.
Okay, let's go with that. Okay, so we'll go with that. So there's such thing as a risk in everything, right? So it's a risk to get married. So let's talk about that. So one of the risks is that she could divorce me, right? One of the things that that would also happen, that if I don't marry her, is that I have bastard children, right? You understand?
I understand why you think that way. I understand why your thinking is that way, right?
It's been that way for centuries.
No. It's been that way for centuries. But you got to remember, we live in a society where the term "bastard children" isn't even a real like nobody even refers to children.
It doesn't matter if they refer to it.
But the point is that. But the reason why I'm bringing that up is because bastardization doesn't even have the same social stigma that it used to have.
What does that matter?
It has it to you because you're from a generation where bastardization had that stigma.
No.
I'm from a generation where it doesn't. So at the end of the day, so
it's actually celebrated.
A child from your generation might feel bad about being considered a bastard. A child from this generation, that's normal. Excuse me? What's the question? I want to have children. I absolutely want to have children, and I'm not making the argument that I want to raise children outside of wedlock. You said what?
Would you rather be married and have kids, or not married and have kids?
It's a tough one, honestly. I want to have a healthy relationship and have kids. That's really like to me. Whether that healthy relationship comes through marriage or not doesn't really matter to me. To me, what's important is that I have a healthy, loving relationship with the mother of my children. That's the most important
like thing. Because y'all been talking about stats all day, right?
What doesn't work like that? Why can't I have a loving, healthy relationship with a woman without being married?
Show that your kid is not going to be mentally stable in the way that you would want them to be.
That's assuming me and the woman are apart. That's the assumption you're making. If we're apart, the child won't be mentally stable. But if we're together, hold on. If we're together, that's no different than us being married. If I live with my girl and we have a kid and we raise our child together, that's absolutely no different than us being married. Because they're seeing the same pattern. They're seeing two parents. They're seeing a mother and a father who love each other, who share bills, share responsibilities, and care for each other. That's what they really need to see. So it's like
this one, bro.
Listen, a baby doesn't know whether or not its mother has a ring or not. The baby don't know the difference between whether or not the mother has a marriage license or not. So what you're saying sounds good. Hold on, what you're saying sounds good. Let me finish. You keep interrupting me. Stop for a second. Let me finish. What you're saying sounds amazing. It sounds really good. But in reality, an actual child, they do not know the difference between married and not married. All they know is if mommy and daddy got harmony or they don't got harmony. They don't know what the ring means. They don't know if mommy and daddy got a marriage license or not. None of that means jack nothing to them. All that matters to them is, do mom and dad love each other, or are they arguing and fighting? Do I see them kissing and hold hands, or do I see them punching and kicking each other? As long as they have a healthy, loving relationship, there's no way to effectively prove that somehow a child from a loving relationship is going to come out worse because their parents didn't sign on a document, bro. That doesn't make any sense.
Are you saying that based on how you feel? Because
I'm saying that what I'm saying is that I'm sure that there has been no statistic done on the children that come from loving two-parent households that aren't married versus children who come from loving two-parent households that are married. That study hasn't been done. That study has never been done. Let's be honest.
Yes, it actually has been.
So bring it up. Drop the link in the chat. Let's all look at it. Let's look at it. Let's look at these stats.
So go.
Let me
like this. Yeah, let's hear what Humble Dad has to say.
All right, cool. So you're basically going on how you feel because you don't want to be married. Okay, got it. So what I'm telling you, look at. How about if we don't even look at a study? How about we look at other cultures, right? Tell me one culture that lives in a way that you're talking about and thrives.
Okay.
This is all new.
Well, I could give. I mean,
unless you want to go to Africa, there's some in Africa.
If I want to use your argument, right? hundreds of years ago, right? Marriages were not even a thing that were a legal process to go through. The way people used to get married, right, was they used to sign in their Bible in front of a pastor and a witness.
Marriage.
No, but just hear me out. We're not talking about old school marriage here. We're talking about modern marriage, right? So what I'm trying to explain to you is old school marriage was no different than a relationship today. Old school marriage was you got in front of your friends and your pastor and you said, I agree to be with this person. There was no legal process behind it that held you accountable and could get half of your stuff taken away. So the argument you're making doesn't make sense, because if I went back to the 1800s, a marriage back then was exactly the same as a cohabitation, besides the little thing that they wrote in the Bible and the two witnesses they had and their
there
pastor.
was a level of accountability when you was in a marriage back then.
There's levels of accountability in a relationship when two people care about each other. Y'all are making it seem like hold on. We're not talking about two people who don't care about one another. We're talking about a loving relationship.
Relax.
People who care about one another.
Relax. There was a level of accountability outside of that couple that made sure they held people accountable with it when they were within marriages. There's always been a level of accountability from the community.
You don't need to sign a paper to have accountability.
But no, you saying that there was only accountability between those two people. No, the community also held them accountable within the marriage. The way we hold our people accountable in the United States is just a different type of accountability. But there's always been accountability pushed onto the family from the outside.
Which can still happen in a loving relationship, which still doesn't require you to be married.
Clout, let me do
marriage.
This. So let me say this. So I'm listening to everybody's point, and I'm hearing what Humble Dad is saying. I think the studies, Humble Dad, by and large, are single family homes. I mean, I'm sorry, single parent homes. It's not so much, and the reason why a lot of people argue those back and forth is because the argument actually is okay. The argument actually is, well, I look for them too. I talk about this all the time too. Oftentimes it's single parent homes. And then the argument is, well, yeah, but that's only because you're only able to quantify that through marriage statistics. But I'm at home with my girl. I'm home. Dad is there. We just didn't get the legal part of it done. We didn't have Uncle Sam all up in our business. Now, what Cloud is saying is, Cloud is not necessarily saying he won't get married. In fact, I just heard Cloud say he will get married. He just is going to marry on his terms. Cloud, what I heard Cloud say is, yeah, I'm gonna get married. I want children and I'm gonna marry my woman, but I'm not gonna marry her the way you guys consider marriage in America today. Now, does that make his version of marriage any less valid, especially to the children, than the marriage with the ring and a certificate that this county registrar stamped with a purple seal and filed downtown? To the kid, it's indistinguishable. All I know is that my mom and dad is in the main bedroom and I'm in the small bedroom and we all live harmonious at this address. And Cloud is saying he might create that. He may not necessarily let Uncle Sam in, but he might create that. And that is indistinguishable from marriage 100 years ago. So I think you guys are.
Tell me where it works at. Tell me why. If what you're saying is legit. Tell me where.
I'll tell you.
I mean, we always trying to compare ourselves to white people, to Asians, to Latinos. We always trying to compare ourselves.
There's
to them.
no way to measure that success because there's no registration of marriage.
No. That's not what he's asking though. So that's not what he's asking.
He's saying where it works, meaning like where are there healthy families of two people who aren't married that just live together and love each other? Where are the stats? There's no numbers on that because there's no marriage licenses.
No, listen. The answer is a ton of tribes in Indonesia, Mexico, and Africa. There ain't no legal, it ain't no file where they got to go and do some paperwork in a lot of countries. We're such in a bubble. A lot of us need to travel. I don't know how many of us up here travels and goes across the world. Everything ain't like America, by the way.
I lived in India for 6 months. So.
Okay, great. Then where else have you gone? Because the question is, well, where does that work? The way we do shit here in America ain't like what we're trying to do is westernize the whole world. And the whole world is pushing back. Like, keep y'all America shit over there in America. Don't bring that shit over here. America's putting sanctions on, I forget what African country, if they don't, right now they have it's illegal to be gay or something like that, or illegal. And America's saying, well, we're going to sanction your country. Is that where it is? Uganda? They said in Uganda, if you guys don't allow gay people in Uganda, we're gonna sanction you from sending your goods over to America. But they don't have that shit for the same thing over in Saudi Arabia. It's a lot of places that America is trying to westernize and say you need to follow how us Americans do. And a lot of places in the world are saying, fuck how y'all do it in America, including marriage.
I will say this. I think I see what you're saying, Shannon, but I think where we're missing, what the part that we're missing is HD is basically saying, what part of the world is there just people just getting together willy-nilly, making babies, and possibly staying together, and the only level of accountability that couple has is themselves. I don't think very many places in the world.
The United States before the white people came. Native Americans before the white people came.
Native Americans,
the Aboriginals in Australia before the white people came.
Even the Native Americans had a level of accountability.
Have a strong spiritual and religious
clout. Yeah,
base.
Clout. What he's saying is clout. What you're saying is between me and my girl, we solid together. That's what you're saying, Clout. And what Sweeney is saying is, okay, remove the government, but between you and your girl, there was your mama, your grandfather, the uncle, the whole community in wherever this is. The community
I agree with that.
Is holding them together. It ain't just two motherfuckers saying we got a promise ring and we shaking hands on this shit. And so
all I'm saying is you don't need to be married to have a community. Like for example, if I'm dating, if you know how many girls I've been dating where their brother be like, yo, you do something to my sister, it's up. No, bro, that's a perfect example of that. That's community right there. That's being held accountable. So it is what it is. But what I'm saying is you do not have to be married to have a relationship that is above board. You do not have to be married to have a relationship that is above board, that is honest, that is accountable, that is respectful, that is loving. What we're talking about here is we're talking about having healthy relationships, right? And I feel like the problem we have on the internet is everyone keeps trying to frame it as though the only way to have a healthy relationship is to be married. So we spend this time trying to focus on fixing marriages in the community when we really need to fix companionship in the community. The problem, we're trying to jump to marriage, and it's like, yo, that's way too far down the line. People, men and women in our culture are not even getting along, right? So let's work on companionship. Let's work on friendship. Let's work on love. Let's work on honesty. Let's work on integrity. And then when we have those things solid and we have those as a standard, then we could jump into trying to get everybody married.
Let that settle. Listen to what he's saying. Let it land. Let it land.
I hear him. The problem is that we know that human nature does not allow people to just be self-accountable. There's always a level of accountability from an outside source that forces.
He's not arguing that, Sweeney.
No, not arguing that. That's community.
What I'm saying is all of that are still institutions of marriage. You're saying you don't need the marriage. All of those are institutions.
My bro does not have to be married for me to tell him, yo, bro, don't cheat on your girl. He doesn't have to be married for me to say that.
The problem is, your argument is that everything is quote unquote marriage.
Yeah,
we're not saying Western marriage.
Hold on, y'all.
We're not saying new version of marriage. It's you guys just calling it all quote unquote marriage. I think you guys are. It's almost like what Cloud is trying to say is Western modern 2023 courthouse marriage. And what Sweeney is saying is whether it's courthouse or whether it's neighborhood, it's marriage. I think you guys are actually on the same sheet of music and don't realize it. It's just that you guys are arguing. It's becoming a semantics argument at this point.
Hold on, Sweeney. Hold on, because I do want to get Sean, Trev, Luis, and Jay Stans in here. Go ahead, Sean.
All right, so I think what Cloud is saying makes perfect sense, and the way we know it makes perfect sense is because you won't even get to marriage if you don't have exactly what Cloud is describing. Literally, that is the bridge. Now you may consummate your relationship with, you may feel like, it's not official until now you personally may feel like it's not official until you put the icing on top with marriage, but you literally will not get to marriage without having what Cloud is saying. So there's a period in time when what he's saying is exactly true. Now, whether you choose to go to the next step or not, that's on you. But what he's saying is absolutely true in every situation that ends in marriage.
All right, let me go to Trev.
Yeah, so Big Cloud had a lot of valid points there. The only thing that I saw a little bit of a difference in was if you lose value after you get married. And you guys went into it about like this is the Western civilization thing, but also it depends on how the woman feels about you. So if she feels like her life is going to be worse off without you, I don't feel like you gave any leverage up. So depending on what type of woman you get, and I feel like we're putting a lot of all women in like one box. There's some really wholesome, God-fearing women out there that just want nothing but to be married and to serve a man. Like there's some of that out there. And a lot of y'all brothers who traveled, y'all saw that, and it's far and rare over here. We understand that. But you gonna run into some. You gonna run into some. And I know most of these women out here, probably like 80%, it's probably not worth the time. But if you are really on your job, you doing everything as a man to be the best version of yourself, those 20% of women will probably get in your way.
All right, wait, Luis.
Yeah, I agree with what the brother Clout had laid out. I think that all the ingredients that he brought up, the integrity, the companionship, the first friendship, all these things that come before you actually, propose to that person. And a lot of people are missing that. There are people out here who are fucking broken. Let's be very clear. I'm gonna wake this shit up. There are people out here who are broken. There are people who grew up in single parent homes. There are people who grew up in broken homes. There are people who don't even know how to be loved. They don't even know how to show love. They don't know. They don't have these things. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to try to usher these people off to other people to be married. They're the ones who are ruining the statistics. That's the reason why it's failing, because they don't even have the right tools or the right people in their corner to teach them the exact components that they need in order to work with somebody for the long term. In the culture today of dating, getting with somebody, leaving, getting with somebody, leaving, is exactly the practice of divorce, right? That's what it is. And Sweeney, I have to challenge you, man. That was such disingenuous, because the thing about people outside of this culture and people outside of this diaspora here is that people actually have tribes. People actually have communities. People have elders, and people have that nucleus, that extended family that they can rely to and push on. They have somebody to talk to. These women, you know who they have? They have social media. They're not feeling well, they go on social media. They're having a rough day, they go on social media. You know what I'm saying? They lost their job, they go on social media and rant. They don't go to their other people. They don't go to other counselors. You know what I'm saying? Let's be very clear about how much stock is put on the perception of people being actually happy to the larger masses, as opposed to being actually content within their own community and with their own tribe. They're not leaning on that. The way that we've set up things, or the way it's packaged and sold to us, we think that it's so high and mighty because we are here in the great US of A, but actually people overseas in other parts of the world are actually having much greater success than here.
I think people are missing. I think y'all are missing my point. My point was that we said, Humble Dad asked, where in other worlds is two people just come together and the only level of accountability are between those couples, and are those countries or whatever thriving? There are none. There's always a level of accountability over that.
People date in every country in America.
Let me finish. Everybody has a level of accountability from an outside force. Every country. Now, you may not agree with America's way of holding couples accountable. I agree. We do have a system that is kind of jacked up right now. I'm not in disagreement with y'all there, but we can't sit here and pretend like nobody else has. That there are countries out there that allow two people to just go at it willy-nilly and it thrives. Every tribe, country, whatever, has a level of accountability on that couple to stay together. Whether there used to be times where people got stoned for not honoring their vows, and there was instances where you get ostracized, kicked out the tribe, thrown out, kicked out the country. They whooped your ass. There was a lot of shit that went down that made sure, like, hey, we're gonna hold you accountable for you breaking up that union y'all got. what Cloud is saying, and I'm not mad at what he's saying. He's absolutely right that we should fix how people view relationships and that aspect. But what we know is that human nature, if there is no level of accountability for the moves that we make, people are going to start doing things the way they want to do it. They're going to start making up their own rules. Well, if there ain't nobody here to hold me accountable for my actions, then I'm going to do the shit the way I want to do it. And that may not necessarily always be a good idea for two people to only be the only thing that hold themselves responsible. That's why we got the laws that we got today. Because go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna just say, but y'all act as though y'all act as though married people are accountable today. Like y'all act as though like people get married, right? And now that they're married, somehow they're held accountable, and the husbands ain't cheating, the wives ain't cheating, nobody's beating on nobody, nobody's abusing nobody, nobody's doing nothing crazy. If that was the case, bro, I would agree with y'all, because then there would be a clear sign. Okay, the people who are dating are the ones who are beating on each other and cheating on each other, and the people who are married are the people who are happy and having children and loving each other and having families. But that's not the case. The cheatings and beatings are happening in the same numbers, in the same levels, in people who are married and people who are not married. So the arguments you're making it seem as though that ring somehow, or signing that document somehow holds you accountable. It doesn't. You can still get divorced.
Not what I said.
No, but you're talking. No, you did, because
That's
you're talking
not
about
what I said.
You said how countries set things in place to hold people accountable, and they don't just let people get together all willy-nilly because they wouldn't be accountable. What I'm saying is that even though people still get married in America, there's nothing holding them accountable, because they can still get divorced, they can still cheat, they can still abuse. So what I'm saying is that
no fault divorce in 1970 is actually supporting Cloud's point.
So here's
marriage. Hold on, marriage doesn't somehow automatically hold people accountable. Like, oh, now that we're married, all of a sudden our family is this big community. So I know that. All right. So with you not saying that, then you have to.
You can't.
Hold on. You're saying you didn't say that. So if that's not what you're saying, then you would have to
ask me what am I saying.
I'm not.
Don't just say. I'm not going to agree with it.
It's not what you're saying. If that's not what you're saying, then you would have to agree that there isn't.
Don't tell me what.
Then you would have to agree that there's not a major difference between the two when they're having the same amounts of. Well, what I'm saying is both of them have the same amounts of lack of accountability. You could be married.
No, they
and you
don't.
Could be,
there's a reason why men don't want to get married today, because of the accountability.
Listen,
when they lose,
married men and women cheat at the same rates as single men and women. I don't know why y'all think somehow you're going to be held. Hold on. Okay, so where is this imaginary accountability God that's holding people accountable that you're seeing? Like who is the marriage? Who is the marriage? No, bro. Who is the marriage genie? Where is this? Where is this marriage genie? The
very reason why you don't want
to get married. It has nothing to do with being accountable why I don't want to get married. It has to do with not being stupid. It has to be with not wanting to make a. It has to do with not wanting to make a foolish decision. It has to do with me not wanting to take an unnecessary risk.
Let's ask him, Cloud. I'm curious now. So if that wasn't what you were saying, Cloud, what were you saying? If you're saying that, because he's saying basically getting married ain't gonna make it accountability any more than if you were just boyfriend and girlfriend. So if that's not what you were saying, what were you saying, Sweeney?
All right. So what I said, and again, this is not me saying that the system that we have in place is perfect. As a matter of fact, I'm in agreement that the reason why there's a lot of men that don't want to get married right now is because the things that happen to men in the event that our marriages fail or we file for divorce is the accountability. You losing half your shit makes you think twice about wanting to get a divorce. There's a reason why women divorce at a 70% clips versus men, because I agree with you. The reason why marriages aren't lasting as long is because there is no accountability for one group. Women aren't being held accountable. Women aren't being told to stay. Women aren't being forced to stay within their marriages for a number of reasons. But if you were to balance those scales, I guarantee you would start seeing marriage rates return to the levels for which they were beforehand. Part of the reason why we don't have our marriages aren't lasting is because women are not held accountable when they get a divorce.
And that's what
that's exactly what I'm saying. If women aren't held accountable in marriage, then what's the difference with them not being married? Because guess what? Either way, they ain't getting held accountable. Either way. So y'all are making it seem like
we don't have a system of accountability in this country.
That's what I've been saying, but you the one making the claim that marriage is a system of accountability. It's not, bro. That's what I'm saying. It's not a system of accountability, which is why you just said, the women aren't held accountable. Which is why so many men are saying, "Hey, why am I into a marriage where I'm the only one going to be held accountable?" That doesn't make sense to me.
But see, that's your contradiction, Cloud. Because Cloud, that's the contradiction. That's the contradiction. See, what now, if you want to make an argument that it's a lopsided accountability, I think everybody can agree with that. But when you say that only the men are being held accountable, then at that point you are saying that somebody in that marriage is being held accountable, and that's what Sweeney is saying when he says that men don't want to get married because the men is the only one that is.
Right.
Well, I get that point, Shannon, but I don't necessarily view that as accountability, but I do understand that point. That makes sense. That is viewed as accountability. I get that point. But to me personally, I don't view that as, I only use the term accountability because that's how Sweeney referred to it. But I don't think that's accountability. I look at that as a bad risk, like a bad penalty. Like it's not accountability to get. Hold on, hear me out. It's not accountability to get half of your stuff taken because your wife decided to leave you. There's no way that makes you a more accountable man. Also, accountability, if we're going to talk about accounting accountability is a two-way transaction. When you credit one side, you debit the other side. So there's no way you can call a system accountable when it doesn't hold both sides accountable, because then it's imbalanced. That'd be like me saying I'm balancing my check, but I'm only adding the debits and not the credits. That doesn't make any sense. Accountability is a two-way transaction. So no, if you're calling something accountability that's only on one side, that is not accountability.
Bro, that's my point.
That's a penalty, and no man wants to pay the penalty.
That is accountability, because that's part of the reason why marriages used to last as long as they did, because there was a level of accountability that held both parties accountable.
Marriages lasted because divorce was illegal. That's why it lasted.
A level of accountability.
It has nothing to do with that. It's because they just couldn't get out. It has nothing to do with accountability, nothing. It's all about the fact that at one point in history you couldn't leave, and now you can leave, and that's it.
Well, to a degree, that's a penalty too.
No fault divorce.
No fault divorce is different, but divorce is always
no fault. Literally means no accountability. No fault. No accountability. Divorce. That's literally what it means.
You're proving my point that when given a system where there is no accountability within a relationship,
like marriage,
people are gonna do shit any old kind of way.
Yeah, like in marriages.
And like in relationships, you think women aren't gonna leave relationships just because there's a piece of paper?
No, I think they'll leave relationships the same way they leave marriages.
It's too easy to get in and it's too easy to get out. And nobody has respect for it.
It doesn't mean as much. Oh, marriage is still harder to get out than relationships, bro.
No fault divorce costs $400, bro. I don't know what you're talking about.
To get out. Trust me, it's easy to get in.
Definitely hard to get out.
No fault divorce in New York costs $400 if it's uncontested. I don't know what y'all are talking about. I've experienced $400, bro.
Uncontested. But how long were you married, Clout?
I was married 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. Because at that point, it's a dissolution of marriage. It's not a divorce. A divorce is not easy to get out. Even when me and my girl is like, yo, we still homies. We like me and my ex, we cool. I talked to her today. We was like, the judge was, not the judge, but the court was like, don't y'all want to fight? And we were like, no, we good. What you talking about? Well, don't you want to take something half? No. We good. The property is good. The kids is good. Everything. The house is good. They almost wanted us. It's not as easy when you're married longer than 5 years. So it's 2 years, you can get in and out. There's no big deal because there's nothing, especially if you ain't got no kids. But when it's longer and you got other shit involved, the government says, aha, I got you. You got to do this and you got to get that. So it is a little bit more difficult.
Here's another thing that a lot of people don't know about marriage. When a man has a child outside of wedlock, that child is born. When that child is born, he has no rights to, none whatsoever. The moment if he has that child within marriage, he has rights to that child automatically. In most states, I believe. I don't know. There's some states out there that's fucking weird.
And what do those rights really allow him to do? Let's be real though. Let's be real though, right? Like we could talk about him having rights to that kid, but let's be real because we live in real life. The moment that woman decides to divorce that man, how much rights does he really have, bro? Like,
way more than he had.
He got the right to file a petition at court. He got the right to go to court, right to do. Sure, we got rights. You know, we love talking about rights, but in reality, that man can't do nothing. Let's be real.
That's not true.
No. Because some things you can do, Clout. Like for instance, when you're not married, she can go up and move to fucking New York. I'm in LA, and if I was just a baby daddy, she can go wherever she want to go. Through divorce, she can't cross state lines. You can't go. Where you taking my son? At that point, it becomes kidnapping. Even when it is, okay. A ex-husband is afforded that opportunity where a baby daddy doesn't get that. She can just take that kid and go wherever the fuck she want to go and set up shop in Atlanta. Ex-wife can't just bounce like that. So it's a little bit of protections. Now here's the rub. how long do those protections stick, and how much money he got to spend to make sure they do. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah,
but it does still automatically give him some sort of interstate protections where she also can't, there's because you have legal custody and you have physical custody. The legal side is, let's say, for instance, the jab. Say you don't believe in the jab and she does. Say you don't believe in certain medical things to happen and she does. That has to be arbitrated through court. Whereas if you just a baby daddy, you ain't got shit to do. We don't care what you think. So you get a little bit of protections.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, like there was this one lady who's a lawyer right here in Texas. She said, man, if y'all have a baby out of wedlock, it's no holds bar. A lot of the times, like she can do a whole lot of shit with your kid without your consent. She don't have to think about you whatsoever. She, as a matter of fact, a lot of the
she don't even have to give you a courtesy call.
What?
She don't even have to give you a courtesy call. She can do what the fuck she want to do automatically.
What?
From the day that baby came out the womb.
But I will say this, that I do agree with Clout that I think the level of accountability that this country has taken away from dissolving your marriage is the problem. Because
I just think that you guys I think that wasn't, well, I ain't gonna say that wasn't cool. Sweeney, when Clout was basically saying, because what Humble Dad asked him, he said, do you want to have children? He was like, yeah, I want to have kids. He said, do you want to have kids in a marriage or out of a marriage? And he took a beat. Cloud took a pause and had to think about that. And he said, I'm not sure. That I'm struggling with that. And I can understand why he's struggling with that, because in his mind is, I can have everything a married couple can have in terms of bliss without getting involved, without getting Uncle Sam involved. If me and my woman is on the same accord and we cool and everything is, and we rocking with each other, maybe we buy property together, maybe we create power of attorneys together. I could do everything through legal right and get all the same. If I die, she's the beneficiary. I could set all that shit up and we live harmoniously without having the government involved, because maybe we want to break up and we don't want to have the government involved. Maybe I want to leave and she don't, but she won't be able to take all my shit. It's a lot. There's some protections in not getting married for men, particularly.
I will say this, though,
and it's almost like you guys were saying, no, you got to get the paperwork.
I'm trying to prioritize the harmony over like the way the relationship is structured. I look at it kind of like a business, right? I don't care if the business is a partnership, a LLC, a sole proprietorship, or a corporation. Does it make money? Is the business profitable? You could tell me you got an LLC that's not making no money, then that's no better than me having a 9-to-5, right? So if you're gonna try to tell me, hey, go into business. Look, I don't care. Again, I don't care. LLC, corporation, whatever you want. But what's profitable? If I could get money and I don't have to be in a corporation, if I could be profitable and I don't have to start an LLC and I could just be a sole proprietorship, I'm taking the route that's going to make me the most money, that's going to be profitable. And I feel like the profit in this case is the harmony of the relationship. So I'm just saying, let's focus on how we can get couples to profit, to get harmonious relationships, instead of just trying to teach them that the only way to even have a relationship is to be married. Like, no, let's work on the love. Let's work on the harmony. Let's work on the balance. Let's work on being a unit. And then we could worry about the way we're going to organize this structure legally.
I will say this though, Clout, you are right. Most relationships start off harmoniously. It's when shit hits the fan, that's when shit gets real. Because even when you're separate, even when you don't have a marriage between y'all, say you buy a house, say y'all start a business, say y'all got the kids. Let's just use the kids in a house. How many people you see out there having babies between each other? They was in love at first until they broke up, and now they up in court fighting over kids. How many people do you know that bought houses together? And they was cool when they bought the house. Everything was going fine. The moment they got a divorce, now they arguing over who pays the rent, who owes me this. I think how many times you see it in divorce on them TV shows in divorce court all the time. Them motherfuckers ain't married. Right. They just in there arguing over shit that they did in their relationship. He owes me this money for this. She owes me that for that. So you dissolve a relationship.
Let me ask Smooth a question.
Sweeney. Hold on, I just want to add something to what Sweeney said.
We're dominating the argument, the conversation, and we got other people on the panel. And I want to ask Smooth this question. Smooth, earlier in the show, you were talking about you knew somebody who found a better woman. Because my argument was men don't really leave their relationships because they found a better wife, and it's like I want to move on. To this question, that woman had on there talking about outgrowing her partner. She met him at 24, married him at 29. By 33, she was out of there because she leveled up and he didn't. That's really what she said.
Yeah.
Do you know any men, Smooth, Trave, Smooth? Do you know any men who feel that they outgrow their woman? Out like a man saying, I outgrew my wife.
Yeah. It's not always for the same reasons though, because men and women are obviously looking for very different things, right? It's very rare. It happens, I'm sure, but it's very rare that a man gets frustrated because his woman is not making enough money. Most of us as men understand that we're going to be maybe not the sole provider, but we would be the predominant provider, where we're going to probably take maybe the lion's share, 70%, whatever, of the bills. So you might not grow out of them financially, but there's other things. There's just you being sick of them. They might not give you enough big love, and they might not pay attention to you. And you just might mature in a different way. Maybe you decided to become saved. Maybe you went to church. And,
okay, I was about to say, is that
she's
wrong?
not
Okay,
on your
not a
page.
safe part, I guess.
She's
Keep
not.
going.
Yeah, she's not on the same page. You just might be more of a studious person. You might want to start traveling. You might want to move to a different neighborhood. Maybe you don't. Maybe you grew up in a city, but you don't want that anymore. You want to raise your kids in the suburbs or a rural area or wherever. Maybe you just want to leave another state. And she's not really with moving. Maybe she doesn't want to elevate at all. Maybe she's very comfortable. There's some people who are just comfortable, some people who are complacent, and you just don't want to deal with that because you feel like she might be holding you back or trying to stop you from doing things. And there's always the women who just don't understand a man on his purpose. A lot of us gentlemen, we doing this, we doing our 9 to 5s. Most of our time is occupied. We going hard. And some women can't take that. They want all of your attention. They want all of your time. And that will, if a woman tries to get you off your purpose and derail you, that's one of the worst type of women to have, period, because she's messing up life for both of you and your family or potential family. So you could easily outgrow somebody who is not trying to elevate. That's probably the worst situation.
You want to know, Shannon, you was going to respond to that?
What can I say to that?
Because I was gonna say, you want to know the big difference with what just Trey Smooth just said though? The woman in that video said she outgrew her husband with no input from the husband. He ain't say, "Nah, babe, don't go get that degree." He ain't say, "Nah, babe, I don't want you going out there and making no money." He didn't hold her back. And Smooth's example, the woman was purposely holding the family back from progress. I don't want to move to a safer area. I like the city. I don't want you to get that better job because I want you home, even though the better job will put the family in a better position. He like, it's tripped out how he described that, because typically when you do hear men say, "Hey, look, I outgrew my wife," it's typically in the sense of, man, I'm trying to do something that's for the betterment of the family, for the betterment of her, for the betterment of myself.
Yep.
And she's actively fighting against it. Where her example, it was just her making some personal choices, and it was all about her. Me. I got this
you
job.
know what?
I got this.
That's the big difference. When men improve, they think about ways to do better for the family. When women improve and they get to the bag, they call themselves independent. What man ever run around talk about, "Oh, I'm independent"? It sounds stupid. What are you doing? What are you contributing to the community? What are you contributing to your family? Women run around with that independent nonsense.
Right. And that whole situation lends to the whole thing I was saying about power again, right? Because had he told her, like, "Nah, you're not going to school. You're going to stay ass at home. You're going to cook." You know what she would have been? She would have never said she outgrew him. You know why? Because she would have respected that he was dealing with her from a position of power. But he didn't deal with her from a position of power. What he did was he allowed her to gain her own power. And now that she has her own power, she's like, "Well, I'm more powerful than you. I don't need you for nothing." He should have been like,
"Yeah, but Clout, isn't that?"
She gonna divorce him and say he was controlling.
Isn't that a little dangerous, Clout? Because that's like the kids knowing that they got 911 today. See, again, I say it week after week, but I just haven't done the show. I'm doing a show called "Controlling versus in Control." Because a lot of women conflate the two. A lot of women, "Oh, he's too controlling." I'm like, no, he ain't controlling. He was in control, and you didn't like it. And I'm not happy, right? The whole that soundbite. I'm not happy. You're not happy because he ain't letting you be wear that thotty ass outfit and go with your single girls on that girls trip. He's saying sit your ass down, and we got a family to raise. So my thing is, Clout, with that, if he would have done that, she still probably would have left modern today. It's almost like you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. If I let my woman
you might think
level
so.
up,
Listen,
if I let her level up and get her degree and I'm supporting her, I'm working and shit like my brother did. I'm working and I'm doing all this stuff for the family, and I'm working my ass off, and I'm doing 70 hours a week. And then the moment she levels up, she's fucking out of there because she feels she outgrew a nigga.
But the level up was a shit test the whole time, though.
If he says, if he reigns with an iron fist and says, "Oh no, you're not doing that. I already see the writing on the wall. You ain't doing all that shit. This is what we doing." Then she's still out of there.
Listen, but what people don't be realizing is the level up is a shit test from the beginning. She was shit testing him from the moment she said, "Look, I got aspirations of my own that got nothing to do with you." The moment he signed off and approved that, it was downhill from there. What he should have done was recalibrated her situation, said, "Nah, you don't have no plans that only attain to you. Your plans are this family." And I guarantee you, the moment he checked her, she would have dropped to her knees and sucked the skin off his meat.
Not
Because
if he
this is the
married
world
her.
we live in.
Or or he would have quickly learned that she ain't the one for him.
Or he would have learned that she. So if she didn't drop down and respect that immediately, then he now would have known exactly what he was dealing with.
Yeah, minus the investment, minus all that investment, because I bet you he paid for her books, her tuition, all that.
Hold on, but Clout, here's the thing though, that only works if he did not marry her, because you just said he relinquished control the moment he married her. She leveled up after they were married. So if he was to say, "No, chick, sit your ass down, you're not going to school," all she gonna do is divorce his ass and say he was controlling. Relinquishing control.
Let me get Stans in there real quick and get final thoughts. Go ahead, Stans.
I just don't understand why men want to bind themselves to a situation that is supposed to be forever, but we know it's not. When that coochie start tingling again, she's gone. Literally, what more do y'all need to see? Literally. Shannon, you've been married twice, divorced twice. Damn, like, bro, what more do y'all need to see, bro? It's up. Marriage is like a 90s hip-hop, the boom bap beats. That shit gone. Let that shit go. Let it go. It's over with.
And the old head's still talking about the golden era, right? The old head's still talking about Cool G rap.
It's over.
Okay, all right. So here's the thing: Stanza, Clout. So what's the alternative? What do we do now?
I got the alternative.
Marriage as we've known it is over. Now what?
Hold on. Why you can't just?
I think marriage being over, we need to focus on relationship skills, right? We need more relationship skills. So we need more people talking about, okay, how to successfully co-parent. We need more conversations on problem resolution between your mate. We need more conversations about how to make the relationship last longer. Forget getting married, just how to make a relationship last. We need more conversations about what to do. How do you deal with the feelings of cheating? How do you deal with feelings of wanting to step out? Like when we have these real conversations, then people can become better people and then have better relationships. But I just think that we limit the conversation when we jump to, oh, well, you want to do it right, got to get married. That's cool and all, but show me how to do it right from where I'm at right now. How about we talk about how to be a good boyfriend to your girlfriend? How to be a good girlfriend to your boyfriend? Let's start there. If we could start there, then we can slowly move up the scale and get things up to marriage.
All right, go ahead, Luis. Go ahead, Luis.
We have to change the culture and the culture around dating and relationships. Let's be very honest. It's poisonous. Today's culture of dating and relationships is very poisonous. Look at everything that they sell you. Ain't no young man wants to be sold on that. And that's why a lot of people resonate with what you're saying at this very moment, because they see the writing on the wall. But how we fix this, I'm going to tell you how we fix this. It's absolutely got nothing to do with what Sweeney said. It has nothing to do with what Clout says. It had everything to do with what Shannon said at the early beginning of the program. And I don't know if anybody picked it up. He talked about creating the manhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how the sisterhood has one? The manhood. In that group needs to be an iron fist. There are more men in the Senate and all these other positions of power. You mean to tell me that we can't all come together and voice our grievances iron out a legislation to make the laws even across the board, make the laws more favorable for both parties that hold both parties accountable, right? You can't sit here and try to convince me that you're trying to change the biological makeup of women, how they think in a society where they run free and rampant, yet have adhered to no responsibility. You know what I'm saying? The same responsibility that Clark was talking about. That has to happen on paper and on legislation if you want to make that.
You want to know why it don't work that way?
The problem that hasn't happened is because a lot of these appointments nationwide in small municipals are lifetime appointments, and so what people are waiting. This is what the lead attorney said. What has to happen is these old judges have to die out or retire. It will eventually. Will it happen in your fucking lifetime? Will it happen in your generation? Maybe not. But what's happening is you got those 80-year-old judges still sitting on the bench right now, and they're using 40-year-old laws that worked when they were in law school back in 1967, and that's all they fucking know. And they don't, in all this modern shit that we talking, they don't have a smartphone. They got flip phones. They don't deal with that shit. And they just say, look, this is what's on the books. And it's easier to just keep what's on the books than changing the shit. Because to change it means that somebody's probably gonna get voted out. And there's a whole lot of nepotism and cronyism going on. And so the reality is the lawmakers currently, as it stands today, there's a lot of old motherfuckers in there that don't want it to change. But when they die, or they retire and they can't move in dementia and old and they can't walk no more, and the young blood gets up in there, things might change.
Hold on, no. It's far more insidious than that. I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Hold on, wait. Let me tell you, Luis. You want to know why that we haven't seen any of these laws change? Because by and large, it's only happening to us. We're the only ones with a 20% divorce rate. I mean, with a 70% divorce rate. Marriage, we got a 36%. The very next group is 50-some plus percent. That's white folks. Until you start seeing when white folks when the divorce rates start trickling down to about the marriage rates trickle down to about 30%, and they start having a bunch of babies out of wedlock, that's when you're gonna see white folks start changing the laws.
But it is. They just got rid of abortion.
But you also start to see the laws change too a little bit. No, that's what I'm saying though. But you're also starting to notice that they're starting to you starting to see more men win in court. You starting to see them talk. Like, it wasn't until the problem, it's the same thing with the crack epidemic. Until the problem hit their community, they did not care. As long as it was only happening to us, it's all good in the hood. The moment they start seeing this shit happen to them, that's when you're gonna start seeing all these white judges say, hey, nah. You know what I mean? When you start saying white judges get divorced by their wives and they trying to take everything for them, that's when they're going to start thinking about changing the laws. When you see these lawyers and these doctors and these police officers and all these other people start experiencing the same shit that's been happening in our community, I'm talking 70, 80% divorce rate, 36% marriage rate, babies out of wedlock all over the place, they women are turning, saying they don't need their men no more. That's when you're going to start seeing these laws change. Until then, white folks just sitting back saying,
I see Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, I think a lot of interesting things have been said tonight. My main takeaway, bro, is that I know that things are trending more towards what Jay Stans is saying than what any of us are saying. And that's the honest truth. I appreciate what Shannon is saying. I think it's very insightful. It sounds really good. But I do think it's trending more towards what Jay Stans is saying. And yeah, that's my final thought.
All right, y'all. We got to start bring this to a close. Go ahead, Cloud.
I just wanted to add one more idea as far as like a solution. I think a great solution for the problem we're seeing with marriage is one, no fault divorce should be illegal, and I think number two, I think we should do like term marriages. I think marriage licenses should be something that you renew. I think that it's just, if you have a child, it should automatically extend the marriage to 18 years. Right. And now you can't get divorced in that entire 18 years. You got to wait it out. And at the end of the 18, you have the opportunity to either renew it or just let it dissolve peacefully. I feel like if we develop some type of system like that, we'll fix marriage problems overnight.
Yeah, but what's the punitive damage? What say for what because they tried that in China. What happens if you don't? Then what? They go to jail?
What happens if you don't what?
You willing to incarcerate a motherfucker because they broke up?
No, they just won't be able to divorce. There'll just be no process for them to actually legally dissolve the marriage. That's all. They just gonna have to stick with it till their license runs out.
So what happens when the woman runs away with the kid?
Listen, if they want to separate, they can separate, but legally, you still gonna be bound together. So when it comes to decisions with that kid, when it comes to stuff with court, when it comes to y'all gonna have to do it together. And too bad if you don't like it, y'all shouldn't have got married. That'll teach you the lesson. Listen, if you get married, you're gonna have to do at least 18 if you got a kid. If not, you know what I'm saying?
If not,
and if your marriage is great, you could keep renewing it and just live a happy life.
What would be the level of accountability for a couple that decides to do shit? Because you're just basically saying they can't get a divorce. That doesn't mean that actually solves the problems of a split relationship.
Well, they couldn't get married again. Look, one thing is for sure. If she falls in love with another motherfucker, she can't marry him. If she runs into a rich dude, she married a broke motherfucker and she made a covenant with him and she gave him a baby. She's stuck with him for 18 years under Clout's law. When she meets that rich dude, she can't, and he wants to, there's nothing she can do. That fixes shit real quick.
Yeah.
That I will say that.
And also create a penalty for cheating.
A lot of women think that they can level up and they end up really not, but they think in their head they can. And if she happens to run into a motherfucker that's better than her current dude, too bad.
So let me ask you another question, Clout. So what about in a situation where the couple, because I'm just trying to, hey, look, I hear what you're saying. I'm just trying to flesh this out. So what happens in a scenario where the dad, they both supposed to be married, they supposed to be raising this kid. He says, all right, fuck this shit, I'm out.
Oh, well, he would be, if he leaves the house, then the government would have to, look, you're legally bound. You have a wife, you got a financial responsibility. If you're not going to do it willingly, we're going to take it from you. And you're going to have to keep doing it until the term is up. So if you agree to be married to this woman
for driver's license, and you get no different than child support.
All right, so with that,
exactly, just like child support. It'll be marriage support. It'll be marriage support. It'll be like, listen, if you married to this woman and you want to, and you try to separate from her, you're going to have to pay marriage support until that license is up.
So would that same thing apply to the woman as well? Like
yes.
If she just wants to walk away from the relationship and try to take the kids, what happens in that scenario?
There ain't no taking the kids. Whatever home y'all got registered as your marriage address, the kids got to live there.
So what happens if she does take the kids?
Wait. All right. Like we got a town hall meeting where we'll be discussing clout laws tomorrow at 9 a.m.
It's the clout law, baby.
Listen, write your local councilwoman and councilman. We gotta enact clout's law. Let's go.
I get to the super chats real quick.
Can you imagine paying marriage support, like child support? I'm paying not alimony. I'm paying marriage support, which means even if he makes more money than me, he's still taking my little McDonald's check. Ooh, that'll make a motherfucker rethink about getting married, or be a little bit more discernible on as to was that a word? They use a little bit more discernment as to who they marry, as opposed to all willy-nilly get married like that chick in the video.
All right. Michael Newell, $2. Also member says, Shannon, what's the woman's purpose in life? A combat?
A woman's purpose in life is her man. Full stop. Period. Her man and her family.
Andre Dale, $2 says 2 years in, he became the mark she knew he was not it.
Damn, Andre, you had to go.
I reject your reality. $5. Also member says the point is that those kids are better with the father in the house, legally married and not held accountable from a third party or not. BZ says y'all problem is y'all don't live by a code. Salute Dr. HD and the men and women that live by a code. No God, no honor, no accountability, so you fail. Why is Jay Stanza wearing a burqa? Bob 199 says someone get Sean some coffee.
At any point.
Yeah, he said he was looking down at his phone. Bob 199. Trev Barber used a precision laser for that lineup.
I appreciate you, but I cut my own hair.
Bob 499 says Shannon looks like a young Lawrence Taylor with Botox.
I guess that's better than Brian McKnight. That's what I've been doing all my life.
I want to thank the chat, man, for being awesome tonight. I want to thank the brothers on the panel. I know HD dropped off and Hink dropped off. Y'all make sure y'all follow their YouTube channels. Also, make sure you follow Shannon, Sweeney, Trev. Cloud is a famous singer, you guys. He's really big out the country, man. He has a lot of hits, like mega hits is what they call it. Doing all type of clout dances and clout laws out there. So y'all make sure y'all check them out, man, on iTunes. iTunes, Spotify. You on mute, brother.
Yeah, my new single out is called New Girl, international hit, dancehall record, the vibe of the summer. Let's go.
Ain't nobody here to see you, Otis.
All right, man, y'all make sure y'all get y'all like some Rich Bully merch as well, man, from Sean Antonio, man.
I'm sure you can squeeze in that last topic.
No, man.
We got 6 minutes.
No, I don't think Sean gonna make it.
We might as well do it, man. I'm gonna be up.
Well, you said like 2 hours. My bad. I hate you. My bad.
Nah, Sweeney was like squeezing in the last topic.
Oh.
I know what that means. I hear you, Sean. What was that?
Hey, I'm here for whatever y'all want to do, bro.
Okay. Luis, Trev.
I'm with the shish.
See?
Yeah.
We got about 5 minutes.
Voices.
I guess y'all voted me out, huh? I should have put y'all on the board, man. Y'all voted me
Y'all
out.
trying to go to sleep. That's what it was. He trying to push it off on somebody else.
Nah. Hold on. We go to get it. Hit the like button also. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel. Go ahead, Shan. What you about to say?
No, I'm gonna say save it for next week.
Shan ain't with it.
Uh-oh.
Niggas, we had 38 minutes over our normal. Anyway.
I thought we normally go for 3 hours.
And JR is sleepy. Y'all hear JR sleepy.
Nah, man. That's...
JR about to do another 3 hours of editing. He ain't sleep. He ain't going to sleep.
Nah, man, I haven't slept good the past couple of days, man. Like, your mind just stay woke.
Yeah, it's hard to sleep. It's hard to sleep like that, yo.
Yeah, your mind woke, but your body tired. I'm already thinking about the next day, so you're like, fuck it, I might as well just get up because I ain't going back to sleep. I'm fooling myself. I'm trying to stall y'all just so I can look for that topic. I know Shan, we're gonna lose Shan. We're gonna get that message in the back chat.
And tell Mohammed in the chat, shut the hell up.
Why? What they talking shit?
In your punk ass mouth.
They talking shit, Cloud.
This loser talking 8 pussies in the chat, man. Shut your little lame ass up, man. Get out of here. You watching us, stupid.
Oh man.
Yeah, here we go. This might be it. The next topic is men fall in love with their eyes. We'll go ahead and finish off with that.
Ooh.
This might be it. Let me see. What's that? We lost Shan for real.
Got the hell up out of here.
Shit. All right, here we go.
Fall in love with their eyes because they're visual. They're very visual. And remember, they're also single focused. That's why you don't point out the stuff that's wrong. They won't see that. But they fall in love with what they see. And ladies, this is not a disrespect to you, okay? Men are attracted to beauty. Women think that if a man looks at another woman or he just glances at another woman, that he's being disrespectful. They take it personal. And it is so not personal. It's how a man are designed. And that's why in many of these podcasts, you've heard me say, if women only understood how a man's makeup, how a man is really made up and how he's designed, you would not take all the things you take personal as a personal hit to your esteem.
All right, there we go. Man fall in love with the eyes. Go ahead, Trey.
Hey, I put that on the looks get you in the door, but it's straight up the way you treat me. Are you gonna make me feel like a man when I get home? Are you gonna be yelling in my damn ear, or are you gonna give me peace? Are you gonna be like, hey, listen, or how are you gonna greet me when I get back from work? Are you gonna have some food ready? Are you gonna want to talk to me about my day? Are you gonna want to rub my feet? Are you gonna want to service me any other way? Like, how do you feel about me? That's the problem. Not nobody cares. I mean, looks is cool though. We definitely want looks, but that's just like women too. You know what I mean? Because women, when you look at any dating app, the first thing you're looking at, they're not looking at your profile, they're looking at your face. Humans just love beauty, and they're gonna get whatever they qualify for. You're gonna get the best thing that you could qualify for, but that's not going to keep you. We can't fall in love with that. And if you do, you a sucker. If any man that falls in love because of somebody looks, they sucker, and it's not gonna last.
Okay. Go ahead, Luis.
Women wear makeup because they know that men fall in love with what they see, and men lie to women because they know they fall in love with what they hear. Right? And sort of, we both have strategies to attract the opposite sex. It's just that today we've kind of, Jedi mind tricked women to think that, well, as long as you do these other extracurricular activities, you're going to be more attractive to a man. If you get a degree, a bag, or this or that, you're going to be more attractive to a man. But in reality, those are the things that make a man attractive to a woman. And sort of, women don't want to kind of self-improve in that area because they know they want to be valued for more than just their looks, but they know that they need to do the work to maintain their looks. Dieting, eating well, working out, hydrating, all these other things, what I'm saying, to keep yourself youthful and energized and, attractive to the opposite sex. It no different than the dude that has to hit the gym or hit the boardroom. Beauty is currency. It really is. But to the brother Trev, that is what gets you to the door. It doesn't usher you inside. And sort of, you need to come with a little bit more than beauty. And for those women out there who are bad and look good, they rarely self-improve mentally in other social aspects. And the women who are not as attractive, but what I'm saying, but they have a lot of smart, they're really well-rounded, they're educated, they're well-traveled, they don't feel like they have to self-improve in terms of their weight, the way they look, the way they dress, the way they show up, right? And sort of that we tend to kind of see the two opposite extremes always operate. So that's a little bit of my take.
All right. Go ahead, Sean.
Man, when I say they just said all of my thoughts, that is exactly true. Nothing's going to make me walk across the room in the middle of a crowded club. You know what I'm saying? Your personality is not going to do that. It's got to be your looks. You know what I'm saying? And women, y'all understand that too. You know what I'm saying? You see a guy, he been hitting the gym. He got the fresh, crispy Trev, smooth lining. You feel me? His beard looking good. You feel me? Like mine usually is. Man, across the room, it's all visual. Y'all said it. Y'all said it exactly perfectly. Once you get there, now if you goofy, if you sound like a clown for a guy, you know what I'm saying? If you real immature, or if a chick you sound, you know what I'm saying? You sound like you're on some wild, crazy other shit that I'm not with. Then it's like, no, I'm not fucking with you. Now I might date you a little bit, but I'm not gonna keep you there. So what Luis said is very astute. You have to have something more to stay inside the door once you get there. That's very important. But you are not going to get there if you're not presenting the best version of yourself visually. And so that goes for men and women.
Because there's a beautiful woman out there and there's a man who's tired of fucking her.
Go ahead, Stanza.
I don't think men fall in love. I think they fall in lust with their eyes. When I see a baddie, I'm like, all right, she bad. I want to hit that. After I hit it and the clarity come in, I'm like, all right, I'm done with it. So that's all I gotta say on that shit. Straight up.
All right, go ahead, sweetie.
I was gonna say shit. Everybody pretty much hit it on the head. I like what Stanza said. Men fall in lust with their eyes, but shit, they ain't not falling in love with their eyes. If that's the case, shit, you know how many beautiful women a motherfucker see in a day, He'd be leaving his wife left and right trying to chase beautiful women. If that was the case, like, all right, well, I'm about to divorce this chick or leave this chick, and I see another beautiful chick. All right, well, I see this beautiful chick, so I'm about to leave her and go with another one. Like, no, they do behave that way when it comes to fucking. They might see a beautiful and be like, all right, I'm about to knock her down. You know what I mean? But to fall in love, that's not a thing. We just like what we see. You know, shit. Ain't nothing. I guess a lot of people say ain't nothing wrong with looking. But nah, falling in love, nah. It's not a thing. I don't know what the hell she talking about.
Go ahead, Trev.
You know what's crazy? As simple as men actually are, we are very simple creatures. Women still find a way to oversimplify us anyway, no matter what. Like, we do require some things. Like, we're not that simple where we just want to look at something, and women always try to do that no matter what. Like, oh, y'all simple, and we don't want that much. We're not that complicated, but damn, looks, and that's it. That's all it's going to take. Like, what type of woman really feels like she's going to be able to maintain a relationship just because how she looks? She a baddie. I mean, just like Jay was saying, but it's definitely worth the smash. We're gonna give it a whirl, and that's cool. But how the hell are you gonna keep me with that? What makes a woman think that she's just gonna have me? Or what does she think how does she think I value myself? Does she think that I value myself at all? Where all I'm going to care about is just how you look? That just says something about what women think about us, how dumb we are and how simple we are. Like, damn, you could keep me. All you have to bring to the table is your looks. You just sit there, and then you want us to bring everything. You want us to be 6 feet tall. You want us to make $100 grand a year. You want us to be charismatic, smart, funny, all that. And then you just come with your looks, and that's supposed to be an equivalent. Man, if you don't get the hell out of here with that trash.
You know what's crazy though? Because women tell you by their actions and the way that they speak to one another about how they deal with men, that men don't only fall in love with their eyes. How many times have y'all seen beautiful women and they talked about sugar daddies and all of that, and they always talk about how you have to have multiple? Because eventually one their dude is gonna get tired of you. You know what I mean? Eventually he's not gonna keep shelling money out to you just because you look pretty. So they have to keep a roster of men. They have to keep men orbiting around them, because if it was just that, if the beauty alone was what kept men and kept them around, they wouldn't need so many of them. They would just need one sugar daddy that keeps shelling money out to them. But they need a roster of men because it requires a bunch of men, because you need a fail safe for the day that this one no longer wants to deal with you. Yeah, so they tell you with their actions.
I just find that there's not enough balance. You know what I'm saying? I like a woman that is beautiful and attractive, but also smart. Like, I think we don't have to have these polar opposite extreme where it's just only beauty and no brain, and just brain and absolutely no beauty or care for self-physical improvement, right? I just think that we tend to kind of have these extreme, and I really like more of a balance in between. And sort of, we don't see more of a balance. And I think that women growing up with social media today, you know, having access to other people's account and looking at what women are supposed to be and stuff like that, all they see is the beauty aspect, and all they see is the thirst comments in their pages. It's all men, you know what I'm saying, with the hard eyes, the fire emojis, and all these other thirst comments, right? That's what they see, and they're like, I like that. I like that attention. I this is what I got to do to get that. Okay, that's why I'm gonna acquiesce, right? And that's the blueprint that a lot of women are plugging and playing, as opposed to something that's a little bit more of a balance. You know what I'm saying? The chick that does have the degree, but also is a fitness model, you know what I'm saying, who also travels. Like, I just think that, like, there needs to be more of a balance. Like this, like, you know what I'm saying? We have the Lizzo experience, and then we have the IG bad chick experience, right? And it's like never really something in between.
All right. I think we might have got through it, man.
Look, I didn't give my
go ahead,
opinion on this one. I'm gonna agree with most of what they said as far as like yeah, like I don't think men fall in love with the eyes. I definitely think it's lust with the eyes. I think when it comes to love, it's really about the duty more than it is about the beauty. Meaning that like if I'm dealing with a woman, for me, what's gonna make me start falling for her is how she treats me. You know, like how she treats me, how she respects me. I feel like those things are what's gonna pull the love out of me. As far as like lust, though, yeah, if you look good, you know, that's gonna get that going for sure. But once it's consumed, you know, once that beauty is consumed, it's no longer have the same. It's no longer gonna have the same like effect on me or the same excitement. So, I definitely need somebody who has like a certain level of like care, a certain level of dedication towards me. That's gonna make me want to reciprocate to the highest level.
I like it. I like it.
Dead horse beaten. You can take us out, JR.
I got two more, Sweeney. You want to keep it going? I got two more.
All right, hit me. What we got?
Nah, I hear you, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Y'all hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Man, yeah. Another great show, man. Another great show.
Another great debate.
I'm about to work on the outro. The outro just seemed to be real awkward. So I have to work on trying to polish it up a little bit.
Give you a nice Cloud Jones song to play.
Yeah. You know what?
Shout out to the chat. You know the chat members, man, for staying with us.
Yes, chat. You know what? Every time somebody try to give me a song, I always still get hit with a copyright, man. It's like, no, it's good, man. It's good. No, it's not on nothing. And then for some reason, I still get stamped with it.
Yeah, and once they throw it on TuneCore,
I'm gonna give you an exclusive.
Yeah. So that track somewhere, I guarantee you, it's somewhere. It never fails. I don't think I had one track that I was able to play. But go ahead,
man. JJ Carver just got here.
What's with JJ Carver in the chat?
He be cutting up, man. That dude be roasting the shit out of us.
All right, bro. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all enjoy the evening, man. Catch us next Tuesday, y'all. We out.